Let's do this.
Well, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to FSP episode 33. That rhymed. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. We actually we're just behind the scenes here. We just couldn't stop discussing this news from today. We were like, we got to save it for the show, damn it. But we couldn't stop talking. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Wow, we already got 27 people hanging out here in the chat ready for the start of the show. That is absolutely awesome, guys. I appreciate each and every single one of you for joining in the conversation today. I remember, if you like the content here on the channel, remember to hit the like button, share it out, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, all that kind of stuff. It greatly helps us grow and helps more people like you find us, which is what this is all about. Good, fun discussions involving gaming, right? And shout out to all the audio listeners of our channel as well. We have some of our podcasts out there in the audio platforms and stuff as well. So I appreciate you all that listen that way. All right, so we got an awesome panel here today. Psycho is gone, sort of. He's still there, but he's leaving early AM tomorrow morning, so he won't be joining the conversation. But I did see him in the chat saying he was stopping by to say hello. Love you, man. Hope you have a good, safe trip tomorrow morning. All right, let's get to this amazing panel. The always fuzzy one, Fuzzy Belvedere himself. What's going on, dude? How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good. Glad to be here with you guys, man. Just one of those Mondays you wake up and it's like news story after news story. So
Yeah.
pretty good topics to get into today. So can't wait.
Interesting day. It's sometimes Mondays don't fail you with gaming news. They tend to just drop everything at once, and today was full of lots of stuff. So also we got the amazingly talented one himself, 3-Bit. What's up, 3-Bit? I know you said you're gotta be a little careful with some of your comments today, but we'll make sure we manage that, right?
I don't think he said that. You said that.
I know, I did. I'm trying to look out for him.
It's smart. It's
smart,
but I will be as careful as I can, and appreciate that. But yeah, hello everybody. It's good. This is my second time on your shows in a week.
Okay.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This is your second show now, like within 4 days.
Yes. So I've been a little bit more active.
Yeah, love it, man.
But yeah, I'm doing good. Happy to get into some of these topics. Chat is already popping. That's cool.
It is crazy, dude. We do have a lot to talk about. There's obviously the big stuff we're gonna be talking about. You see in the thumbnail and the description and stuff, but we got some other things too. There's quite a bit of stuff to cover today. Even a topic that has circled back around somehow. Today it became news when I thought it already was, but I guess apparently not to anybody else except for us on this channel. But we'll get into that later. Jasper the realist, the Debbie Downer himself, also had a lot to say pre-show. And he said he's going to save it all, so I'm interested what Jasper's going to have to say today. But how are you, sir?
It's going pretty good. I just harvested 300 pumpkins in Disney Dreamlight Valley, so I'm replanting the pumpkins right now, and I got to water them, and then I'll be fully ready to go on the show. I'm just watering them. So
right on. So when I did try and play that for a few minutes, and it completely lost me. Like my plant that was next to the house was like steaming. It had like the stinky like thing coming from it. Does that mean
it's dry? You need to water it.
Okay. I was holding a watering can and I just like held it out and it wasn't doing anything. So I don't know what I was supposed to do with that.
You'll know it's wet because it have a water drop coming down it.
So I needed to put water in my watering can? No,
you should just hit X and it waters it.
Oh, you have to hit X. Okay.
You don't just hold it over.
Well, I mean, I figured, you hold the watering can out, it would pour, But instead it was just dry, like the plant. Anyway. Enough of that.
Is this a Disney?
Yeah, Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to try that game out.
Yeah, speaking of the chat, there are awesome people here. Wilfred Rosario, what's up? Shane, how's it going? Tony Grasso. Oh, my Tony, I see those fun speculation emojis. What's going on? Calorie, how are you? Oh, man, let's see. A Razor. We got Infinite Umbra. How's it going? He was holding a good spaces earlier today. Actually stepped into a space for the first time in forever and listened for a little while.
Wow.
Yeah. We got Black Card A, as Pong Soul says. What's up, Black Card? Def Leopard, how's it going? RSJ fan, how are you? Hope you're enjoying 2K. Why So Serious says, yo, what's up? Speaking of 2K, 120 gigabyte update on the disc version, supposedly. 120 gigabyte update on the disc. That came from RSJ fan on Twitter. Yeah,
that's probably like 30 gigs on the disc, and the other 120 is just
exactly. The disc are like irrelevant these days. Everybody's saying keep physical alive. Well, what is the physical disc? It's just a coaster that has DRM on it. That's pretty much what it is. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
you're just accessing the download. Pretty much is what it is. Deathlord Strong, how's it going? Ghost Fixer, Jay's Natural Fitness, how's it going to you? Depka, what's up? What's up? Let's see who else is here. I think I got everybody. Appreciate every single one of you again. Let's have some fun. Oh, Masshole, how's it going, Masshole? Jason Hackett, I see you too. All right. So hey, guess what, guys? Bonnie Ross has left 343. And a statement today. She said that she is stepping down from 343 and Halo, and was planning originally that she wanted to stay until the winter update, but due to medical reasons in the family, she has went ahead and decided to step down. And a part of that process now was an announcement of new leadership at 343, where her role has now transitioned into 3 roles. And I actually went and tried to do some research on the three individuals that I don't have all their stuff in front of me anymore, but there's pretty much one that's the main focus here, because there's three individuals where she kind of held all three of these hats, but she had people under her that were kind of acting as people that would report to her, but she was in the main control over this. But now there's three different people that are in main control over the franchise, and that's not just relating to Halo Infinite, that's relating to, you know, the business operations of Halo and like the content creators, community management, you know, like getting the fans involved. There's that whole side, right? Then there's the side of the franchise, which is going beyond gaming, right? And maybe into other games that maybe 343 themselves could potentially not ever even be a part of, right? And then you talk about the TV show, you talk about potential other things that could be out there, you know, the toys and stuff. You got potential other games, like we said, that maybe 343 may not be developing. And then also, now you have the new head of 343. And that's where I think we're going to focus mostly on this, because where it impacts us as the gamer the most is within that role, right? And that's the role that she was most criticized for, right? Bonnie Ross was for many years now with kind of the management issues at 343, and which has been very public for a long time now, including former 343 devs on Reddit and other things coming out, telling their truth, saying what's been going on. And since then, there's even been more revelations recently. Check out a video from Mint Blitz that actually was alluding to information that was released from Jez Corden as well from Windows Central, kind of about some of the ongoings that led up to the state that Halo Infinite is in today. So first off, I want to focus on Bonnie. And like, I've seen some really shitty things out there on the internet today, right? Like name calling and like, oh, fuck yeah, like screw her, she's gone, and all this kind of stuff. What, as a Halo fan, it's okay, you can think, yeah, let's get excited that there's new direction there, right? But then you target somebody personally, right? That for everything we've heard from the community, people that have met her individually, and shout out to King David too, because he has stories of this, right? Like, awesome person, right? Awesome person, good human being, right? So there's no reason to go and like trash a person individually and target them as a human, right? No name calling and stuff like that. But you can be critical of mismanagement sometimes, or like you don't think the direction of Halo went necessarily where it was supposed to, or where we would as fans would have liked to have seen it go. But there also are a lot of positives along the way as well that can't be overlooked. So for the past, I think what it was, 15 years now, she's been involved with Halo, and that's a long time. Now, personally, I'll say this, even though you can look at Halo as the glory days of back in Halo 1, 2, and 3 and Reach, right, under Bungie, I can still say the last 15 years have had a hell of a lot of fun with Halo, right? And Halo is still relevant today, and a big part of that is because of Bonnie Ross, right? A big part of that is because of Bonnie Ross and her trying to keep up that mantle for any of the faults that go along with any of the games that we didn't like the story in Halo 5. The Halo 5 story was trash, blah, blah, blah. You know, Halo Infinite has no content now. That sucks ass because there's no content, mismanagement, blah, 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 right? Yeah, Halo 4's multiplayer was just not as good, you know, because it had loadouts and stuff, blah, blah, blah. Map sucked. All these are legitimate criticisms, right? But there's also a lot of positives that go along the way, you know, for the past 15 years, right? So we'll start with kind of looking at we'll call it the Bonnie Ross era, right, of Halo, because you can say Bungie, right? And then there was Bonnie and 343. Now it's being handed off to Pierre Heinz, I think is how you say his name, is now the head of 343, and he's going to be ultimately responsible for the core Halo franchise and what's going to go down there. So, all right, we'll start with 3-Bit, because 3-Bit has a long history with Halo and has a little bit of knowledge with the game development industry as well. How do you see the last 15 years, and, you know, how much of the criticisms are lay at her feet, right? And do you think there's criticism to be had everywhere? And was there some good to be had here?
Yeah. This topic is really interesting because it wasn't. I think we all agree that we feel like 343 was being mismanaged, and there's a lot of other industries or a lot of other um, companies, or I would say other genres where if someone is doing a bad job, then uh, people will sort of call them out on it, like, oh, this coach has lost like 20 years of football games. They'll criticize it and then they'll hire a new person. Um, but it's weird with Bonnie because like a lot of people are singling her out as like a human and basically being like, you're trash. Like you can separate that. Like you want
Yeah.
Halo to be better as a franchise. But Bonnie's not the only reason why 343 is being mismanaged. And I think was she part of it? Maybe, but targeting her as a human, I think is wrong. Especially when you think about uh, big franchises of something like Halo or even like a Star Wars. There's not really one person in charge. It goes into these different branches of people who make these decisions. I think she had a pretty loaded position, being that her role is now being separated into three different parts.
Right.
Because I honestly think that needed to happen initially. Like she kind of had a lot of work, if you really think about it, of maintaining the Halo brand and listening to all of these different sides. Because we see it as a side like as Halo fans, like this is what I want to see for the Halo franchise. I want to see go in this direction. Then you have like casual people like, well, I don't really care about that direction. I want to see in this direction. Then you have the pro competitive scene where they want to see it in a different direction. So Halo has always been an interesting franchise because you have to balance all. It's like a sandbox. So you're giving people a playground to play in and try to appease a lot of different crowds, which not a lot of games do. So it's definitely a difficult position for her to be in. I am in the camp where I'm like, I wanted 343 to have a different direction. I mean, we've said it literally, I'm pretty sure in the last episode of this show. We talked about how we're not happy with 343, and I'm sure Phil and other people, I'm sure Phil has heard the criticisms. I don't think it's, I think for a while, Bonnie's probably been wanting to leave. I think what's been happening recently, it just spiraled to this point. But yeah, I mean, honestly, people are attacking one person. You need to separate like what you are actually attacking.
Criticize
like,
the role, not the person.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
criticize the work, not an actual person who's like a human being. You know? But
you suck at your job. I bet you hate kids too, you son of a bitch. No, it's not like that, right? No, it's
which I've seen a lot of takes from the Halo community, from our own community, of people just kind of trashing on her, and I don't agree with that. I agree that 343 needed a new direction.
Yeah,
that's where I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that with her role being divided into three parts, that's positive. We'll see what ends up happening, but people have to realize that it's not just one person that affects
everything,
a whole world, everything. Like I think people get into this mindset like, oh, you are the one that is causing all these issues, so once you leave, all the problems will disappear. That's not true. In almost any field. Was she a big part of it? Yes, because she's the head of Halo. She's the head of 343. and the mismanagement, it could come from so many circles, right? Like, yes, maybe what was happening with 343 was her, but I think people get sort of
laser focused, yeah, on
laser
one
focused.
issue, right?
Yeah, and imagine like you're working at Amazon, like some Amazon headquarters, pushing boxes, and then you're like, oh man, the management is terrible. Screw Jeff Bezos. Like, yes, he is technically.
So it's Satya's fault. Halo Satya's fault.
I think Joseph, or not Joseph, Jeff Bezos. I think he stepped down. I think he's just like kind of there now.
Yeah, this is an example.
Yeah,
this is an example. Like yes, technically, let's just say like yes, technically he owns Amazon, all this different stuff, but there's so many other managers underneath him getting to the point of the quality of the actual work. So it's to me, I sort of look at it like that just because of the field I'm in. I see how many
clusters. You would just call them like clusters.
Yeah, like a manager could literally affect how things are outputted to the gamer, and that's not even the highest position. So yes, Bonnie is again the head, and a lot of the responsibility does fall on her. But I think people need to stop being so laser focused. It's more than Bonnie.
That was kind of like my point, is like, just because she's gone, I think there's still cause for concern, because the people that got promoted today have already been there, and we still had issues with Halo, and they were already higher up. So I'm not sure if just because they're promoted, we're not going to see necessarily change.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Think more people need to probably go, but this is definitely a start to where we can start seeing that. I just don't know.
Yeah,
like, people want Joseph Staten to take charge. Like, that's not going to happen, because I don't think he really wanted to even come in the first place. He's just they brought him in.
Also,
like, hey,
he's in as like, the role for him, right? Like, he's a creative director now.
Like, they brought him in to just kind of like look over the story in the first place, and they're like, "Oh, we got more problems. So can you help out here? Can you help out here?" And he's like, "Fine." And he's like, I think he's just staying until he fixes his baby, and then he's like, "Okay, it's healthy now. I can walk away." But like, I just don't see necessarily. And also, change is going to take like years before we actually ever see it. But I think there needs to be a whole culture shift, or like something in 343 before we can actually really see this change that people want out of it. Because just like promoting the people that have already kind of been higher ups in 343, it's not going to really do anything. I don't see. And
to Victor's point, he said she was more than just a head. She built the studio. I think, yes, I agree. I'm not saying that I don't think she had some part in the mismanagement issues. I'm not saying that at all.
She could have had the most blame to pass around, however, but that doesn't mean she's the only person, right?
My whole point is that people think that Bonnie is in the studio putting the rock in the map of Halo. Like, she's like putting rocks around, and she's coding the script for the guns and stuff. Like, there's so many other positions that can lead to mismanagement. And you could still be the head of something, and then like the people under you can mismanage most of the game, and then there's a lot that goes into game development, and it's the same with like any other industry. There's people underneath people, and the person who's always going to be blamed is the person at the top, and that's fair. It's completely fair.
Yeah, that's that position. You take the responsibility with that, right?
Exactly.
That's where I'm like, because him just like the new guy is stepping up, like he's already been there, so he kind of knows how 343 works. I think you need to bring someone in who's not in 343 to actually affect change like sooner rather than later, because you need to come in and be like, we're redoing this whole company instead of just promoting a dude. That's kind of where I'm.
I don't know though, man, because like here's the thing, like when change like this happens, like new management like can literally have an impact, because guess what, like somebody has more control and power than they had before. They feel more empowered to do things, right, that they maybe had ideas for. And from what we've seen from Pierre Heinz himself and what he was responsible for before, he did an amazing job, right? So if I see somebody that is like they're doing an amazing job at something, and I'm looking for somebody to put in a position that I think is going to have a big impact, I'm going to go look for the person that's had results, right? And I think even though he has not been there as long as a lot of the other people, like he's proven to have had results, right? So they could have promoted a lot of other people up to that position, but I think they chose him based on feedback, maybe, like, because I would imagine this is not just like a decision you'd be like, all right, which one of you managers is ready due for a promotion? Is it you? You've been here for 20 years, man. Bob, it's you. You know what I mean? 3 for 3 lifer right there. Let's go. Come on, it's your turn. No, I think that there's like a lot of feedback, probably from Bonnie that goes into it, and also from other people within 343, and then their eyes on seeing what's worked, what hasn't worked, that may lead up to this decision. Not to say that it's going to automatically fix all the issues, but my point is I want to give them the chance, right? Like, and I've seen a lot of people like today be like, they're fucked. They just like went within. They're fucked. They're still doomed. This is gonna be the same shit. Nothing's gonna change. You know what I mean? But like, you can have, for example, okay, look at NFL, right? Or I always bring up stupid sports analogies, but you can have a head coach, right? And be like, had been there for 15 years, and everybody's like, fuck, we're not getting anywhere. And he leaves. You know, the assistant coach becomes coach. Everybody's like, it's the same shit. You know what I mean? Same shit. Nothing's gonna change. You know, the same system. And all of a sudden they go on and win like 3 Super Bowls, right? You know what I mean? It's like you don't know 100% because it depends on when that person gets into that position and they have that ability to make significant change and direction, and they have a new focus. And now they may be able to say, hey, this team, you need to do this. Where beforehand, they may have not had that power and control because they weren't even involved with that project. You know what I mean? So I think it's at least a positive in the right direction right now, but we got to see the results. And if the results don't change, then we'll they should have fired everybody in management and just brought in all new managers. But then at that time, it's like, okay, do they love Halo? How much respect do they have for the franchise? What direction do they plan on taking it in? You know what I mean? Here they're at least knowing a little bit of what they are working with and their dedication, what they've already proven to the franchise, where I know it's not the only thing that matters, right? Like I see a lot of people say, hand Halo off to 343 or to Infinity Ward, you know? Yeah, Infinity Ward is awesome, but they don't necessarily know how to work with the Halo feel and the Halo engine and what makes Halo Halo. They know how to make Call of Duty. You know what I mean? And if you want a Halo Duty, then you give it to Infinity Ward maybe, you know? But I think that from rumblings out there, and I mentioned this Mint Blitz video before, but there was a good video of Mint Blitz and from information from Jez Corden that it's kind of information leading up to what happened at 343. What happened to Halo Infinite? Why is it in the shape it is in today? Well, a lot of it goes back to past issues still. And this goes back, you can look at Xbox. Past issues out the ass are still hampering them today in 2022, right? And when we look back at some of the issues where supposedly, now this is, who knows exactly, because this is coming from a rumor and stuff, but supposedly Chris Lee was not very forthcoming on the condition of Halo Infinite to the higher ups about what state that game was in. And then it came to the point where they thought they were going to be ready, and maybe he wanted to keep his job or something. And then it was time to show the bosses, hey, we got this game coming out in November. And then they had that disastrous reveal of the game and it got shit on. And they're like, whoa, you said this game was going to be ready. What's going on? You know what I mean? How it's not anywhere near finished. And then they go and look at it. They let him go. They bring Joseph Staten in. They cut 70% of the content of the game, which pissed off a lot of people at 343 as well. But they were trying to consolidate it to be able to ship something within a year. And then this past year, supposedly, they've still been fixing all these core issues behind the scenes that were from the past. Now, that is on Bonnie as well, because she was in charge when all of this was going down, if this is what happened. But that's led to where we're at today. Now,
but that's also on the people that got promoted today, too.
Not necessarily, because Pierre was over Master Chief Collection, which was going well. And that same time, where all of this other shit was going on, negative with Halo Infinite and all of this stuff, what was succeeding? What were we playing? What were we flourishing? What were we praising for the last couple of years? It was Master Chief Collection, right? Yeah. And that's where he was in charge of fixing that game. And if I'm looking at what's worked over at 343, I would say, okay, that worked. And maybe that's a person, if he's fixed one game, maybe he can fix this game, right? And maybe that's where they're going with this, right? And so I can't blame Pierre for the issues of Halo Infinite when he was working on Master Chief Collection. You know what I mean? And so that's one thing within 343. It's like you spot the good and you kind of you prop him up, right? And he hasn't been there that long. He's only been there for a few years, and he's already done wonders. So it's not like they went to like Frank O'Connor or, you know, one of these other big names within 343 and it's like, okay, you're going to be the boss now because guess what? You're the most famous person we got. You know what I mean? They took somebody that's been there for a few years. The other aspect to this is because of where they're at now with fixing all this stuff and where they're going with the winter update and leading into next year, I think they're have gotten to a lot of those back end fixes finally and fixed that shit that Joe Staten has taken charge of to where hopefully next year they're in a better place. So we may have seen the end of hopefully all of the disasters anyway, without necessarily it being like this new person's doing, but it could have been already in the works this last 6 months where they keep saying, well, we're working longer so that way later we can work faster, where they're fixing everything. They're fixing all the broken stuff, right? So we'll see what happens. But right now, nobody knows. I just want to give them the opportunity because it is new leadership. You know what I mean? It's new leadership, something we've been asking for years at 343, and it finally happens. And today I've seen just a bunch of people shitting on Bonnie Ross. And then I've also seen people say like, well, fuck, nothing's going to change. Right. So we'll see. Maybe it's not, but I just want to give the benefit of the doubt, you know?
Yeah. If that's the case that like you're saying that it was already like it's already headed in the right direction before like Pierre took over, then we won't necessarily see change until Halo 6 or whatever comes out, because that's when he'll actually have full effect on the game's decision.
Not necessarily, because he's made big impacts on Master Chief Collection too, right? Like in Master Chief Collection, I feel like is a different game than 3 years after it launched today, and like it's one of the best games ever on Xbox. Like Master Chief Collection is a fucking masterpiece and masterclass in gaming now. And they're still updating that game today. People say stop updating it, just work on Halo Infinite, right? But they're still updating that game today. Like Master Chief Collection is like amazing what they've done with it, with all the updates. Remember we were playing it like, oh my god, is this like next gen like ray tracing and all this shit? Like how are they making it look this good? How is it this smooth? This is like a game that came out in like 20 years ago almost. Like holy shit, how are they doing this? Like they've done so much good work with Master Chief Collection, and I feel like if he can do that with that, maybe he can bring some of that energy to Halo Infinite, right? But also it will hopefully have an impact on what they make next. Hopefully it does, you know?
I think so. I think basically having her roles subjugated to different sections was smart. So that way they could focus on the different aspects of Halo, because she kind of just had to, she had a big job. She had to handle a lot of Halo. And I think with Pierre, with what you're saying with the MCC, I think it's a good note. It's a good note. I think there's something wrong with 343. I have hints of what has happened at 343, but I don't want to get too much into
a lot of the contract workers situations and stuff like that.
Contract workers, mismanagement.
People like you, 3-bit. It's your fault. You damn contract workers.
Dang. I am a contract worker at Playground Games. So I'm coming from that place, and my perspective of mismanagement at 343 it goes further than Bonnie Ross was my whole point. Like, yes, Bonnie Ross is the head of Halo. Could she have had a huge impact on 343's mismanagement over the years? Probably so. could it have also been that there are people under her who are also mismanaging? Also, that's also possible. So I just think that we'll just have to see with the new people and their new roles, and hopefully some things change. I think it goes deeper than just one person fixing everything. I think it needs to, what kind of Jasper is saying, they kind of need to look inwards a little bit and see what's going on with the foundation of the studio, like how you're hiring contractors and how they have to learn a brand new engine, and then you have to teach people that again, bringing new people on, and then you just that the small issues like that needs to be fixed. Whether it could be these three new awesome peeps, we'll see.
Yeah. And two of them aren't
but-
really going to even be involved with the games really that much, right? So it's more about like finances and stuff, and then the other one and then marketing, and the other one is more about like the extended universe and stuff, and then potentially other games that 343 wouldn't be working on.
And I was seeing it's like some people in the chat was talking about the engine. It's a brand new engine. They've been using from Halo 1 to Reach. Halo 1 through
to
5. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 to 5 was all the same engine.
It was the Blam engine. It's also the
Blam
same engine that Destiny 1 was built off of. That Bungie came in, used the same engine, and just modified it to like Blam 1.5 pretty much to make Destiny. So
exactly. So that was the same engine for many years.
Yeah.
And if you watch the interview with Bonnie Ross and Ryan McCaffrey, she was saying that the team have been wanting to upgrade the engine for a long time, and then they indicated how it was a problem. She even admitted in the interview, she was saying that we promised we would make changes to the engine and during Halo 5, and we didn't do it. Like go you guys could definitely go watch that interview.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting. So after Halo 5, they started making changes, and they're like, okay, let's actually do a whole new engine, the Slipspace engine. And I think it's a great engine. I just think that it's very early on, and engines are hard. There's a reason why not a lot of game developers do whole new engines for their games, right? They just use Unreal.
Yeah, you're not just building a game, you're building the tech in which the game is built on, right?
You can tell that this engine's more for scalability, just to make larger maps and put more objects into it instead of just linear like story levels. That's kind of what they were doing this engine for, is to make bigger experiences within Halo.
Exactly. I think this engine is really good for optimization reasons. Like for example, Forge, you can now have like 7,000 assets as opposed to before it was like 1,000 or something like that. Or having all of these special effects in the game, like fire and all that, not really impacting the frame rate. That stuff would have been harder in the older engine to do. So the benefits of this engine, I think, are mostly for optimization reasons. I think the negatives is the fact that it is a new engine, and so they have to really figure out things like
I mean, just look for it Halo CE compared to like Halo 5. It's completely different, but it's built on the same engine. You know, it's like later down the road we'll see like major improvements to the game. It's just this is the first iteration of it. You know.
Yeah, like Halo, like Jasper was saying, Halo 1 and Halo 5 are the same engine. So it literally, they need time with that new Slipspace engine to, I think where they're having trouble is networking. And they need some master engineers to figure that stuff out. And I think that's going to take some time, because they're dealing with like the fact like I'm wearing this armor, this goes through this cross progression, and I think there's a lot of issues with implementing simple, what you would think is simple, and maybe it is, I don't know, but like just like simple things that you're like, oh, I just want that armor, why can't I have that armor? And they're having trouble implementing those small things, and I think that's building up to issues of content within the game. Like there's no reason why there shouldn't be a new map by now. Like I
Yeah.
should be able, as let's just say I am an environmental modeler, I should be able to create this scene, create this map. I block it out. Usually, you do what's called a uh, gray stage. You block it out. People play, test on it. You make it look beautiful. Add some lighting, add some textures, ship it. Right. That's usually how it goes. Um, and we are not getting that at all. It's taking way too long currently. So that just leads me to believe there's something just going on
Yeah.
with the tech side,
So
and they need
fixing
some
some major
engineers.
issues behind the
Or
scenes.
No more
Okay.
contractors.
them moving
Yes.
dev time to other items instead of making new maps, because it's more important we get other things out besides 2 new maps like core features.
I mean, yeah.
Right.
I mean, but that should be what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
be like the simple thing. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think because of it's a new engine, it's a little harder.
Well, Fuzzy's been extremely patient. Fuzz, Fuzz, like, where do you look at like the past 15 years with Bonnie Ross, with Halo 4, Halo 5, we got Halo Infinite, we have new engine now, games and is in distress right now with content, right? Some positive things coming on the horizon. But overall, where do you see the past 15 years for Halo? Like, how did it sit with you, and where is it? Do you think this is a positive now going forward with the new direction?
Well, one of the first things I want to say is, I wish Bonnie Ross and her family the best. All things aside, I know that, like, me not being the biggest Halo player, I know that, as like I see within the community and amongst my friends that do play a good bit of Halo, there have been some misgivings for some time now, and there's always in the background been the um, request of, kind of give it back to Bungie to some extent, as opposed to 343 with these past few games. Um, but as far as my limited experience with Halo, which started at Halo 5 and also includes Halo Infinite, I enjoyed 5, although I know the masses didn't seem to quite gravitate to 5 like they did for some of the earlier Halos. But I think whenever there's either a miscommunication, well, not really a miscommunication, but like a different vision between the community versus the developer, I think there does come a time for change. Now, does it start all the way at the top, or does it start with the creative director, whatever the case may be? I believe bringing Joseph Staten in was probably the biggest,
Mm-hmm.
move or step in the right direction at one point. But I know a lot of people have been calling for Bonnie Ross's head for a while. They're like, well, it's mismanagement. It's missed deadline after missed deadline. And me being on the outside looking in, my gaming development experience is zero. All I have is web development experience as far as building websites and things along those lines. So that being said, I think hiring from within, you're going to have people that have seen all the stumbles, not necessarily firsthand, but have seen them close enough to the point where hopefully they will have the foresight and vision to avoid some of those same stumbles and be able to course correct a lot of things that have been problematic for this whole development cycle. Like we do hear a lot of the stories on the contract work, and I don't know if it's just something that's pertinent to being located in Washington State. I know that there are some different contractor rules for that state versus others, and it just seems like that probably needs to get fixed as well. I mean, having a leadership change is one thing, but I think if there's another thing that's kind of like an Achilles heel, where just hearing stories of, like, all right, they worked on this new engine, they had a lot of contractors help with that, and for whatever reason, whether it be the state regulations or tax purposes, a lot of those that were familiar with that engine weren't retained, so they went and moved on to other projects, uh, more than likely at other companies or other studios and such. So if you're having to bring more contractors in and then kind of retrain them, you're always taking 2 steps back for every step forward that you make. Um, and that itself, I think, is still something that's going to plague, this development cycle to some extent, or at least if it's not addressed, whether they have to relocate the studio out of Washington State or come up with other means of having, like, well, maybe the headquarters part stays in Washington, and then you have the ones that are working on the engine in the state where you don't have to worry as much about the tax codes or regulations for contractors. You can, hopefully retain them and retain that talent and knowledge, so you don't have to always, kind of relearn stuff to move forward. But I think in the grand scheme of things, hopefully this will help ease things. But I just, my gut is telling me that there's still going to be some more issues before things get better. Like,
Yeah.
usually it starts at the top, like, all right, change leadership, that's the first thing, but now you got to get some of the key players in the key positions, or get things rolling, and that's going to take time. So I don't think this is going to fix anything overnight, but I do think this will probably help in the long run. And hopefully when we look back a year from now, we're like, oh yeah, that really did make a beneficial change. Or, these things, yeah, it was a slow burn, but they're back on track, or they're at least, in that right direction where, they can get the seasonal content out within a shorter time frame. They can
seasonality.
Yeah, and be more of a games as a service, or that type of game where you're not having to worry for having 6-month seasons. It's more like a 3 or 4 month season. Or they have like content as far as like story DLC that continues the engagement on that platform. So I just, fingers crossed, this is a step in the right direction and just the beginning of it. But I'm kind of prepared for it to take a bit longer as far as getting everything to our satisfaction. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think a lot of wait and see, right?
Yeah.
With like the contract work argument, like the last time they kind of did this was with MCC, and we saw how that went. It wasn't necessarily contract work then, but they went out to a lot of different studios to just segment that game and create that, and it led to major problems. And I think this is kind of like the other step of that, whereas they tried to do it all internal this time around with contract work, and it still kind of created that same problem. So I just think they need to figure out a new way to have a standard group of people that actually works there, instead of just a revolving door at the studio. It was just people coming in and out.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Like again, we got to wait and see. But rumblings are that there's a lot of positivity with the studio right now about where they're at and where they're going. Right, whereas that wasn't necessarily the case right before. We had a huge disappointment again recently with that season 3 delay, and with the winter update announcement that's kind of acting as like the content drop, right? But with that, this November, I think there's a chance for it to start anew with campaign co-op, with Halo Infinite Forge mode finally dropping, which we all know is looking absolutely insane, right? So for all of the issues that they've had, for all of the shit that they've been going through, and all of the criticism that lay at their feet, including Bonnie Ross's, right? Like, Halo is not dead. And I think that it's going to have a chance to resurrect itself. And we'll see how they do, right? Will these issues continue? Will they get a regular streamlined amount of content coming out? Remember, this was supposed to be a 10-year planned game, right? We're only not even into year 1 right now. Right? We're in at like month 10 or so of a 10-year plan for what this game could amount to be, right?
So we'll have 10 maps in 10 years.
No, that's what can't happen, Jasper.
As the new head of 343.
Can we get some soap so we can wash Jasper's mouth out real quick, guys? Because that cannot happen. Do not put that in the universe. What I feel like is, one thing, Forge is going to handle a lot of the problems. Yeah. Right, it looks like they built something amazing with it, right? And we got to give 343 credit for building what looks like the most amazing community-driven dev tool out there, right? With this iteration of Forge, because it looks astounding. Now, I see people saying, well, you're just going to rely on the community to fix it. Well, shit, if you can build something that amazing that it does create a potential the community can have that big of an impact, that also deserves some props there, right? And I mean,
I'm more excited for mods for MCC right now than I am for actually Infinite stuff. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm like so excited for Forge, man. Like, Forge is like, I'm all on that shit. Like, I can't wait for it.
Like, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't mind the community thing, because like the community is making these mods that I'm excited for. So like, if the community wants to make it, then go for it.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And I think
super chats.
Yeah, I need to get to those. I think we're gonna be in a positive direction. Hopefully, come November. I said this when season 2 was announced. I was so pissed off when the season 2 thing happened. I said November is going to be what should have been the launch of Halo Infinite. I still feel that way. I feel like Halo Infinite will launch into what would be the beta, the preseason, this November, and then March will be like the real season 1. I honestly feel like that's probably the trajectory that we're at.
If they just called it Halo Infinite Early Access, this would
for a year. Hey, if they put Halo Infinite in preview and game preview,
yeah,
you know what I mean. That's what they should have done. To be honest with you, that's what they should have done. But it was free to play anyway, so they wanted to create that hype around it, and they would have been criticized out the ass for that move too. To be honest, so let's get to these super chats real quick, guys. Appreciate you, everybody in the chat, hanging out again. Let's see. Earlier we got a $5 super chat from Victor Alestein. Appreciate you, Victor. How's it going, dude? He says, I think the reality is to fix things, there is a need to set a new foundation with new leadership. I thank Bonnie for her work and wish her the best. Yeah, that's 100% like a great way to look at it, right? Like, hey, yeah, this was maybe needed, right? She says also for medical reasons with her family. So if that's a thing, wish her family the best as well. You never want to hear something like that. It's not my place to say whether that's real or not, right? It is, like some people say, convenient, right? But at the same point, like I was talking to these guys in pre-show, if you said Bonnie Ross left Halo in 343 anytime after Halo 5's launch, it would have been convenient, right? It would have been, oh, that's convenient. Like they're like leaving now or whatever. So I just, as a person, I want to take that for what it is, but then also in the back of my mind being like, it could be some corporate talk here, some moves going on there as well.
They
but
did the same thing with
Drew Murray left, yeah, and then he went immediately, yeah. But we'll see. If there's medical issues with the family, I wish them the best. But also that there was, like, she did put in the letter that she had planned, I believe, on leaving around the winter update, right? So I think maybe the family thing is just about like, why now instead of waiting for that? You know what I mean? So that could have been already plans to stepping down, and maybe where she felt like Halo was in a good place going forward. And now it's just a little bit before that. So I think the winter update is going to be the biggest and most important thing that's happened to Halo Infinite since launch, for sure. DS Omen hit us with a $5 super chat. Says, if contract laws in Washington are the issue, how does Bungie, Turn 10, and Sucker Punch handle their contract workers so well? Well, there was talks about that, and we don't 100% know, what's going on there. But I do know that some in the community or some people that have been contract workers with people in Microsoft game studios have had good experiences. So it's not always necessarily just the issues with that. It's how you manage those pipelines and manage those workers too, and things like that.
Also,
right?
How simple your engine is to work with too. Like,
yeah. Right. That's true too.
Like I personally, I'm technically a contractor in Microsoft, and I think I personally have a great experience with the studio. So it ranges to just management.
if you have to take a 3-month course to figure out how to work in the engine, then it's probably not.
Yeah.
It goes down to like management and a lot of other things. So every studio has a different DNA of how they operate.
Yeah.
And Microsoft seems to want to maintain that DNA per studio. It works in some regards with some studios, and maybe with other studios it doesn't. So
yeah. I think that's a good question, right? Too, because like the Forza Tech engine is also only used by Playground and Turn 10, right? As far as I know, So that's something that you would think people that come in have to learn, right? But not everybody necessarily has to learn an engine that comes in and builds a game. I think that's more of a core foundation thing, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, 3-bit. Like, and does an animator necessarily need to know how an engine works, or does an illustrator or artist, or are they just given tools and they can send those assets off?
If it's managed super well, then no. But if they are running low on staff, usually roles have to be a generalist. I think being a generalist is a big thing in the industry. Like, oh, you know how to animate, and you know how to model, and you know how to
right.
Usually that's how a lot of people get hired, is the fact that they know how to do multiple things. So even if you are am 3D animator, you may have to do other stuff too. So it kind of depends on the studio. If they are managed super well, then you are only doing this, and then you pass it on to someone else.
Like, what would somebody potentially that's building a map in 343, right? Do they build that in the engine itself, or do they build it in something and then move over assets, or like?
Move over assets, because like the engine is like it's there, and then you're modeling it in another software,
like Adobe or something like that.
Yeah, just think like Adobe, like Maya or something like that. Like someone's modeling it, someone's animating it in like Maya, and then you bring it into the engine,
and then you make sure it all works.
Yeah, make sure it all works. Make sure the lighting looks good. Basically, the engine holds all the content, but you're making the content like Photoshop and other stuff, and then it, like, the engine, like, is where you.
Yeah, so that's why I think there's like actual major issues with there have been major issues with the engine itself, right? Like the last 2 years, because like you have all these illustrators and animators and artists and things out there, and it seems like with the amount of people that have been working on it, it should be easy for pipeline of content, right? Because we've seen even with Halo 5, there's like such a pipeline of content after launch, right? Like with all of these games, but like that engine, like we said, was so old that I mean, it had already been optimized out the ass, right?
And like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no, like, they should be able to crank out these maps, especially if it's a 10-year plan, whatever. It has. I feel like it just has to be the engine, because there's no way it takes that long to, at least on the map side of things, there's no way it should take this long to start producing content. So I feel like it has to be a tech thing, and they're not figuring it out yet.
So I think
I just, with Forge, like, how hard could it be? Like, if you have Forge as a tool that you can create maps and publish them, like, just crank them out, dude. Like,
well, I think we're gonna see that. I think we're gonna see that after Forge launches. I think that's why they're giving us 2 Forge maps in winter, because I think that's gonna be like, okay, the community is gonna make shit, and we don't even have to worry necessarily about just the maps now. We're gonna be able to.
I know there's leaks of leaks of 4 potential remakes from different Halo games in the works. So
within Infinite.
Yeah, within Infinite, there was like leaks of Forge of people remaking maps,
right?
Like internally. So
remember Joe Staten like put out there like, do you guys want to see classic maps in Halo Infinite? Right? That could be an internal process with the Forge team to do that potentially.
Yeah.
Who knows? You know,
like, why not? Like, there's so many amazing maps in all the Halos, and every single Halo redid some map from the previous. So
the problem is they just have to figure out which ones work with the new gameplay mechanics and stuff, because you can't just have capture the flag on like a small ass map, and just be like, well, it's over.
Well, with the tools with Halo with Forge, you could potentially just have like change the mechanics and make it like a Halo 2 classic.
Yeah, but if you're searching like in a social playlist, you can't just like cut everything out of a fucking map, because then it kind of like you're playing 2 different games.
I wonder if they can add the mechanic of dual wielding within Forge.
Ooh, that'd be sick.
Because they've been able to add so many things that we've seen. You know what I mean? If you could do like a Halo 3 thing or whatever, that'd be pretty sick.
Or add the mechanic of a plasma pistol actually stunning stuff again.
Yes,
that's actually possible. That's actually
you just make it shoot the disruptor, but it's like whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Lots of exciting things on the horizon. Lots of mistakes in the past. Lots of reason to be questionable over the future of Halo. But overall, I think that this was a move that was going to happen at some point. And, you know, I mean, that's just a long tenure period, regardless. You know what I mean? For somebody in that position. So at some point, there's bound to be some change there. And what I think we can all hope for is just that the new leadership direction has them on the right track and that things are going in the right way. One Bad Mother, been talking to him a little bit as well in DMs and stuff. And he's an awesome guy over part of Xbox era. Has a Halo podcast. You Had Me at Halo. It was an awesome show over there. Said Forge is special, but some of its capabilities are due to slip space. It's a give and take. Inefficiencies with an immature engine people don't know how to use, but we will see Forge will help with content.
100%.
Yeah. 100%. Agree with that as well. All right, guys. Well, we kind of killed that topic. And unless anybody else has any last thing they want to add. No.
Yes. I am excited for the future of Halo. More so.
More so than yesterday?
More so than yesterday, yes.
Okay. That's a good thing.
Looking forward to Forge.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm pumped for Forge, man. I think we're going to get some crazy shit. I think we're going to get some amazing maps.
Yeah. Positivity in the air. Forge is going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. So
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this November, Halo Infinite will be the most played game on Xbox.
Okay.
You mean Pentament's not going to take that away?
No.
Yeah, Pentiment, no.
Halo Infinite, I think this November will have a resurgence and become the most played game on Xbox.
I mean, Call of Duty is going to beat that, but
well, I mean, as for Xbox first party, yes. Yeah. Call of Duty is going to be number one on like all devices. You know what I mean? But like, as far as like, there's going to be I think when November comes around, and they really hunker down on that like marketing of like Forge and stuff, and get the tools out there to the public. As long as there's no delays. If they delay this again,
Minecraft is going to beat that too. It'll be number 3 on the most played list.
It'll be up there on the list.
Definitely in the top 5.
I forgot about Minecraft. Shit.
Call of Duty becomes a part of Xbox.
Fortnite will be like above it too. So will Roblox.
So top 5. Top 5 is good.
Top 5 AAA. Top 1 AAA first party game on Xbox this November.
It'll be more.
I'm narrowing my focus a little bit. I keep narrowing my focus. I think it'll basically what I'm getting at is it'll have a tremendous wave of energy come back this November with Forge and the tools and stuff. And then I think that we'll see. Yeah, I'm interested to see like how Pierre Heinz does with like, you know, his delivery to the fans, right? With interviews and like, okay, here's what our plan is. You know what I mean? Because I think that's going to go a long way with the vision. And he can say like, hey, look, guys, I'm the MFer that fixed Master Chief Collection. You got a problem? You know, you come to me. I got you. Right? Halo Infinite's in good hands now, guys. You know, but I still don't like the toxicity that was out there today a little bit either. So shame on you.
I think we all push back on that. Like,
yeah,
come on, guys, be better.
Be better humans.
Yes, I will say like before we end this topic, every single Halo that came out, even Bungie era, people hated the game. Like when Halo 2 came out, they're like Halo 2 is trash. I remember this. Yes, they were. Halo 2 is trash. The fans are crazy. Halo 2 is trash. Whatever. Halo 3 came out. Oh, Halo
they hated the campaign in Halo 2.
Whatever the previous Halo was like the masterpiece Halo for a while.
People are saying good things about Halo 5 now. People are like, Halo 5 was amazing. And I'm like, what? You guys have been, I was saying I liked it when it came out, but everybody was saying it was the worst fucking game ever made.
I will say with Halo 4, like I have switched over the years. Like Halo 4 when it first came out, I was like, it's kind of garbage. But like over years, I've switched with Halo 4. I'm never switching with Halo 5. That's always going to be ass.
Right. I've seen so many people be like, Halo 5 had so many amazing things. I loved Halo 5. I'm like, maybe I just wasn't part of this community like at that time. You know what I mean? I was enjoying it, but like I wasn't out in public trash, and I was like, I didn't really get a lot of the criticism, but like I see a lot of that now.
Single Halo map. That's something I noticed over the years. Like people hate the current Halo, and then the previous one they're like, oh, that was amazing. Halo Reach, woo.
Yeah.
when Halo Reach came out, look at the comments and stuff.
They didn't like the
track it down,
armor abilities.
They hated it.
It ruined gameplay design
Yeah.
with armor abilities. People said that. I liked the campaign, but the multiplayer wasn't fun. It kind of ruined competitive for people. I think a lot. That was
Yeah.
a major
People
problem
look
with that.
so
Yeah.
people look back at Halo Reach so fondly now, but I remember when it came out, people like hated Halo Reach, hated Halo 4.
Yeah.
It's like, so I'm wondering, to extent like the fan base is kind of toxic sometimes. I do agree with that. Don't attack Bunny Ross. There's positive things on the horizon.
Yeah.
We're all Halo fans here. We just want the best for the brand. So
Yep.
well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I will say I've maintained since Halo 5's launch, my main issue is their over reliance on forge maps in the matchmaking, right? Because those forge maps were not like these forge maps we're getting in Halo Infinite coming up. Those forge maps looked like smooth,
They look bland.
like it's like
They
everything
started
was
doing
made out
that in
of
Reach.
marble.
Yeah.
Marble
great.
columns. We're just gonna make this map out of marble columns. Anyway, all right, moving on, guys. Hey, guess who has some game announcements to make tomorrow, and it's gonna take them.
Nintendo.
Yes, and I was gonna get to PlayStation first. Yeah, let's get to PlayStation first.
I know where you go with that.
PlayStation State of Play is happening tomorrow, and it's a whole whopping 20 minutes of gaming excitement. And I'm sure that we're going to be plenty excited because they got news of 10 upcoming games for PS5, PS4, PSVR 2, and mobile and PC. I'm just kidding. I added that last part. But what are we expecting this State of Play to be? It's only 20 minutes, which means we're not getting probably a big PlayStation show this year, right? We're going to get 10 masterpieces, or we're going to get 10 director's cuts. You're going to get those 10 live service games all announced at once. That would be crazy. I don't think that's going to happen.
I think just like the obvious choices right now is the Uncharted Legacy Collection coming out soon. That comes out in like, October 19th or something like that. And then God of War is coming out soon. So I think those are your two obvious picks of what will be shown. Other than that, maybe Forspoken, because there was a rumor about gameplay or something today with that, I think. So we might see that. And then just PSVR 2 games, you probably throw in like 5 of those, just show like 30 seconds each because no one cares.
So 5 of the 10 are going to be PSVR 2 games?
Yeah.
Oh, please no. That would be such a nightmare for me. You think we're going to get a couple new game announcements for PS5?
No.
No?
No.
That's
very
confident.
Buzz? Get us some hope.
I forget.
Maybe a director's cut.
No. There's like 2 smaller studio games that are being worked on. I think one was like Helldivers 2 or something.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be good. I would be all over that. And
then the other one was from Something Moon. But people have been talking about that for like a half a year now. Yeah. So it's finally about time that they show something, if there's something ready to show. But it almost seems like PlayStation was purposely waiting for all the quote unquote PlayStation insiders to shut up before they announced this. Because for weeks it's been like, oh, it'll be this day. It'll be this day. It'll be in September. It's going to be before the Disney thing. So then, since everybody saw that it wasn't before the Disney thing and everybody went quiet, then that's when PlayStation's like, oh, by the way, State of Play. Yeah. So I don't know. PSVR 2. We still don't have a price on the thing, but we're going to see the games. Yay.
Yeah. I think as the new director, I've been hired by PlayStation. I'm taking over Jim Ryan's role.
Okay.
I am now in charge of this showcase, and this is what I'm announcing. I am announcing Siphon Filter returning. I am also making Naughty Dog create something that's not just a Last of Us Part 2, which was in production to be a remaster. I am making them do a Jack and Daxter, right? And then on top of that, not only am I making a new Jack and Daxter, I am also going to bring back SOCOM. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm bringing back SOCOM as the new director of PlayStation, and that'll be a good show. That to me Like you have so many IPs of PlayStation.
Dude, we got 20
that's
minutes. We don't
weird.
have an hour.
Oh, sorry. That's it. That's all.
Literally, yeah, literally, we could spend 20 minutes on this topic, and we'll go longer than their whole showcase is going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, but honestly,
I mean, unless if they bring out like an orchestra and do like a whole thing, then we get maybe like 5 minutes of games. But
And now we have 10 minutes of music from God of War Ragnarok.
And a sizzle reel.
Nah. Oh yeah, I'm also taking away the $10 game, and vote for me as president.
I wonder if Helldivers 2 could be one of those live service games. Because the first game, I could see how it could be kind of turned into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's tough to say, but I like what Reba was putting down as far as the ideas for the state of play. I mean, that would be like their Show of Dreams Part 2 or something type of deal at that point.
Yeah.
But I just it just feels like Sony's not ready to show anything other than like I think the show was supposed to be more so focused on their partners in Japan or something. So I can
but it
definitely
also the next sentence says, and also devs around the world. So
Oh wait, what
So,
are you talking about with the comment?
their announcement.
Japanese games?
yeah.
If you click on their announcements page, it says like we'll focus on our Japanese partners and what they're working on, and also game devs around the world.
Why is that? Is it like an asterisk? Like why did they say it afterwards?
Because they want to temper expectations.
It's like, oh, and also games. You know, it seems like that. But yeah, honestly, like with my fan show aside for Sony, because I do like Sony. I think a lot of people don't get me wrong. I hate their.
Yeah, you've bought
practices.
like
I
3
think their
PS5s.
IP Yeah, bought 3 PS5s. I think they have amazing IP that they just don't use. Like, where are all these games? They have some amazing IPs out there. I think what's actually going to be at the show is closer to what Jasper is saying. I feel like they're going to pump that show full of VR titles.
Will we get a VR announcement and price?
No.
I think
Game Awards. That's where that's at.
That worked well with Xbox revealing Series X at the Game Awards. Maybe PlayStation saw that and be like, we're going to do that. Because
it's supposed to be out 2023. Game Awards is the last big show of the year. Makes sense.
It's only 20 minutes.
It's only 20 minutes.
How long was the last showcase with like Spider-Man and like Gran Turismo? Like how long was that? Was that
probably
longer?
like 20 minutes?
That was last year's show, right?
Longer.
Yeah. Was that
was like 40 minutes, I thought.
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dang, what? Anyway, so I was gonna say like if it was like a similar time frame, then maybe they could they use most of the show to start introducing more VR. But
yeah,
how many games did they say? Amount of games?
10
games.
Because we had that PSVR like kind of showcase earlier in the year, so I'm just assuming a lot of those updates are probably gonna be on games about those, and your big games is going to be God of War and stuff like that.
You think they'll show
like a
Spider-Man?
2-minute gameplay or something? No, that's too early.
Spider-Man too early.
I think we're going to get 20 minutes of them pleading to regulators not to let Call of Duty go.
We just get 20 minutes of Call of Duty. See, look how amazing Call of Duty is on PlayStation. You can't.
They're just going to stand on stage. Call of Duty is such a fundamental part of PlayStation, and we're so excited to bring Modern Warfare 2 to you first here on PlayStation, because without PlayStation, we wouldn't exist. And they're going to say it to the public, without Call of Duty, we wouldn't exist. And they're going to say that.
I bet you Call of Duty is going to be at this showcase. I bet you.
You think so?
No.
It could.
I think so. They have
Call of Duty has
content.
their own show like 2 days after this, so maybe, but
after.
I doubt it. Yeah,
but
Call of Duty is on the 15th.
They do have exclusive I feel like they would do that just to appease gamers. They're like, look, it's still on PlayStation. Like, this is their last time to do it. So yeah, I feel like they're gonna do it. This is their last time that they can possibly say like, hey, we it's not owned by Microsoft yet, because any other showcase after this is gonna be the deal will be done.
If they
right?
do anything though, I feel like it would be like, and tune in this, what is it, Friday when the Call of Duty thing, or Thursday or whatever it is. It'd be like, tune in this Thursday and watch the Call of Duty stream for an exclusive PlayStation like content or something, maybe like that. But I don't think
Yeah.
they'll show anything.
Because it's a big part of
somewhat
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they'll at least mention Call of Duty, but yeah, I think it's going to be pumped full of VR titles. I'm a copy Jasper in that, and I think other than that, they'll just show a lot of games they've shown before, like Forspoken.
Yeah.
Let's see, God of War. Probably a lot of God of War filling the show since that game is about to come out. And then trailer to like Uncharted, like basically things we've seen before.
Yeah.
But doing a new trailer for it.
Right. What about you, Fuzz?
So that's
what you got in store for the state of play? I mean, give us a banger state of play, full of bangers.
I don't think they have bangers ready just yet, but
anything on PlayStation is a banger.
banger.
I'm almost wondering, because of TGS, I'm almost wondering if this isn't where they announce Death Stranding 2. Because we know it's in the works. We know Kojima's working on that as well. The bigger studio, he's doing the cloud game for Xbox, and he's doing Death Stranding 2. So maybe this is where it's official without Norman Reedus, kind of leaking it a bit. So I think we see Death Stranding 2, or at least the announcement, the official announcement.
do we Fuzzy? Do we also get Silent Hill?
To my understanding, Bloober is working on Silent Hill. I don't think anybody else is working on Silent Hill.
All the Silent Hill stuff that came out, I don't know if you all have seen it or whatever, but it was just like concept pitches for like actually making the game. It wasn't actually like game footage. It's just like them put like a little slice together to be like, this is what the game could be. So if we do see Silent Hill, it's so early that we won't even see anything here. Like it's like 3 years away before, like at an E3, before we ever see anything about Silent Hill.
No, to my understanding, Bloober went right to that right after Medium. Like they were the ones that hinted that the guy that was doing the music for Silent Hill, I think he leaked that. Well, I'm actually back at it, right after this project,
unless
or something like that.
Hill pitches were like fucking 3 years old, then.
Oh yeah, they were. That they pitched that before they launched Medium, and they had the composer from the original, and I'm pretty sure Bloober got that locked up like over 2 years ago, or whenever Medium first came out, type of deal. So those pitch pictures, that's their game. We'll see it. I want to say late 2024, maybe early 2025. But that it's not going to be at Sony's showcase. I can
and
I don't
Bloober
guarantee it, but I know it's not ready for their showcase just yet.
And
but,
Bloober has Layers of Fears is their next game also, which is, I think that's next year probably. But Bloober does have a track record of like not taking very long between releases, right? If you look at their like history of releases, it's like almost every year or like every other year they have a pretty big release. So
maybe we're underselling this show. You guys,
I'm gonna tell you what's on the show when Fuzz is done. It's gonna be crazy.
This is Sony. I don't know where you all been in the last like year, but they haven't been any blowouts.
They're gonna bring the bangers, Jasper. They're gonna do it.
The only other blowout I can see them doing with them mentioning the PSVR 2, and this has been a rumor. I don't know how much validity there is to it, but was it Half-Life Alyx? Maybe that's
coming to PSVR 2.
Yeah.
But maybe
it's been talked about or supposedly rumored for a bit. So I think the two standouts, other than like God of War gameplay possibly, is Half-Life Alyx for VR and Death Stranding 2, which I don't think that will be VR, but I think that does get talked about. But everything else will probably be par for the course, like I said, the Helldivers 2, something Moon. I forget the name of the studio or the game that they're working on, but it's going to be like kind of like a smaller indie game that's going to be shown. But I agree with Jasper. It's probably going to be half the show is probably going to be PSVR 2. So maybe we even get a deeper dive on Forbidden whatever or Horizon, whatever their VR game is.
Oh, the Horizon VR game. Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why I was saying like maybe we're underselling the shows because you guys are forgetting something Sony loves to do is show things that are nowhere near release and show trailers for it. So I'm thinking maybe there's some games in development they could do a little teaser for, just like short little.
You're right, because they
snippet.
do just love to show concept art for a game that's like 5 years away.
Yeah, so I think we'll get some of those, like maybe Wolverine, another logo thing, or I don't know. I can't think of another game.
Well, didn't they do like 1.2 seconds at the D23 of Spider-Man 2?
Oh yeah, maybe updated Spider-Man 2 trailer, more ray tracing, something.
Yeah.
Those
I don't
water
know.
puddles, they gotta fucking fix those.
Okay, so I'm going back and I was looking at their announcements for October's State of Play last year. I mean, I don't think they'll have another one in October, right? If they're having one now,
No.
it's
No.
possible, but I doubt it, right? But okay, this was their lineup for last October's State of Play, and we can get an idea of where they may be headed with this show. Remember, this show was heavily criticized as one of the worst State of Plays ever, actually. And it felt like, I remember the critique of it afterwards was like, it felt like they had a contractual obligation to have these in some kind of a State of Play and just forgot to put them in all the others. So they just crammed them all into this one show. And these games were Death First, Let It Die, We Are OFK,
Ooh, that was a banger.
Bug Snacks, The Isle of Bug Snacks,
That was a banger.
Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, Death's Door, which is a good game, but was announced that it was coming there to PlayStation, and I believe Kartrider Drift, King of Fighters 15, fantastic game, First Class Trouble,
Banger.
Star Ocean: The Divine Force. Maybe we'll see that again at this State of Play.
Yep.
Little Devil Inside.
Oh, is that game out?
That's it. That's it as for the PlayStation blog for the October State of Play last year. So, my God, I hope it's better than that. I'm just saying, right? Now, I think the way they led up to this, they're talking about, I think, more expectations for some bigger stuff potentially, because they said like PS5, PS4, and VR games as opposed to like third-party partners. I think is how they kind of like had led that show up to, right? I think they said like big announcements from third-party, and I think a lot of people were looking forward to some surprises and some cool things like Final Fantasy and stuff like that, but nothing was there.
But see, with like the
that's so
PS5 and
weird.
PS4 thing, like just because a game's coming out on PlayStation 5 also probably means like God of War, it's also coming out on PlayStation 4. So that's why they include both of that. So it's
Right.
like, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get great games because they
It's
release
weird that they had a
everything
showcase
on both
that
ends.
it's like, I guess they have to, but have a showcase dedicated to games that are coming to other platforms. Like, you would never see Xbox or Nintendo really do that, right?
Well, Nintendo's like all exclusive showcases, really.
Yeah, and Xbox too. They have like, these are the games that are coming to Xbox. I mean, Xbox is a little different because they are championing that all these games come to PC and all this different stuff. But like, the last showcase I thought was weird because they're like, oh yeah, this is a third party showcase. I don't know.
Right.
This is weird. That's just kind of weird to me. Like, it's cool, like awesome. These games should be celebrated and all these. It's cool to see like new games and everything, but I always thought it was weird that like they are just doing a third party showcase in general. I don't know. Is that weird to you guys? Am I just in that boat where it's just like?
I think
guess
it's
it's
just
not
the
that
way
weird.
they do smaller shows. It just
Okay.
they
Yeah.
don't have anything big to show themselves, so they're just like, well, let's just stay relevant.
It's so
Let's put out
how
stuff.
do they get away with having so little for their like shows. Now I can't honestly tell you without looking back about anything that was in any of the state of plays this year. I don't remember, because all of them seemed like they were just focusing on something about to come out.
We had an indie showcase, and we also had one where they showed off like Resident Evil 7, like new first-person mode and Resident Evil 7 VR mode or whatever, and all that stuff, right?
So yeah, it's interesting. So Dark Zone says, for tomorrow's show, we'll have some great updates from our amazing Japanese partners, along with a few other surprises from developers all around the world. So maybe this is going to focus on like Star Ocean. We know it had the PS5 marketing, right? PlayStation marketing. So maybe Star Ocean will be there. Yeah, that's a game coming out not too long, right? So things like that.
Forspoken's Japanese, right?
Square.
It's at least publisher. I don't know.
Right.
Forspoken is probably guaranteed to be there. I bet you.
It could be Final Fantasy 16 could be there. If you really want to make a big impression, you know what I mean, have a big show, you could have Final Fantasy 16. What I would think is, okay, so if they want to have a big show and have a good impression, you only got 20 minutes, right? So you already said PSVR shit's going to be there, so you update some PSVR stuff that I honestly could care less about. I know there's VR fans out there. Yay, right? Cool.
This is like the third
good
show we've had PlayStation VR games. We don't have the damn device.
I think we're going to get like maybe 2 or 3 games for that, okay? Then I think the rest can be PS4 and PS5 games. I think you're going to have maybe like 2 or 3 smaller titles, right? Or maybe 3 smaller titles, and I think you're going to have maybe like 3 or 4 bigger titles. And I think that you'll have one big one, let's say like Final Fantasy 16. Maybe you do have something. Did they say specifically there will be no first party there, right?
No, it just says that's pretty much that Japanese and devs around the world. That's pretty much all they've given us for expectations.
We'll have some great updates from our, and it's right before Tokyo Game Show too. So it's I'm thinking, okay, I think we're gonna see all Japanese games and maybe a few things. I don't know.
But I don't think we get big stuff though, because like Sega, Bandai Namco, all those people are Tokyo Game Show, so they're not gonna go to PlayStation if they're doing their own show like 2 days later.
Yeah, maybe.
So you're not getting stuff from Sega or Bandai Namco. So
yeah, this show's gonna suck ass. That's gonna be bad.
I mean, if I was a developer, I would want to go to Sony. A lot more eyes are probably going to be at the Sony show. I'm just being devil's advocate. Like, there will be more eyes on the Sony showcase, probably more than Tokyo Game Show, maybe, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because one thing, Tokyo Game Show is at like 4 a.m. our time.
Region. Yeah, like how big is it in that region? I don't know if Japanese people really focus on that as much.
I think it's pretty big, like for them, for that. You know what I mean? I mean, it's. I don't know if it's as like big to like them as like what E3 is to us, or right? Or
yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know, like that culture thing. I don't know how big that show is.
I'm curious, but I think like one thing, I think Microsoft's going to make a bigger impression there this year. There's already rumors that they're really going to make a big focal point with that and have some more stuff there than usual. So we'll see about that, but yeah, I don't know. I think the state of play is going to be a letdown. But we also got another show to look forward to tomorrow, guys. It may not be a letdown if you're a Nintendo fan. If you have a Switch and you're happy with that device, then guess what? There's a Nintendo Direct also tomorrow. So tomorrow, you're not only going to get one show from PlayStation, you're also going to get another show from Nintendo, two major players in the gaming industry on the same day. This is like little E3, except 20-minute versions, and
with
they're garbage stuff probably. So Nintendo, the Splatoon 3 just launched and it's a massive success. Absolutely killing the charts, and Japan also is like wow, like insane numbers. So they're proving that hey, the power of Nintendo is strong, and we will sell games on this device as for years and years and years to come. Probably we'll see. But is there excitement about this Nintendo Direct tomorrow?
I think I'm more excited for the potential of Nintendo's announcements than I am like for Sony's thing. Like Sony's, I'm just kind of already like it's going to be let down with Nintendo. Like you never know what to expect from Nintendo. They can either give you crap mobile game, or Breath of the Wild 2 could be here. So
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
the rumor
same.
was there was supposed to be a Zelda blowout direct. If this could be it, but those rumors have kind of died down as of lately. So I don't know.
Have they given us any
Yeah.
indication what to expect from this thing? They said a mini
No.
direct, I think, is what they
I
called
never
it.
really see the Nintendo Directs leaked or any. I usually don't hear much prior to Nintendo Directs, but I have more expectations for the Nintendo Direct than I do for the Sony show, which is weird because I also like with the Nintendo games, they usually just when they remaster games, it's usually
This is a 40-minute.
exactly a port.
Nintendo is 40 minutes. It's actually not a mini direct.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I have way more higher
I know
expectations.
Pokemon Violet or whatever the hell is coming out this year, so we'll probably get an update on that.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild 2 was rumored to be early 2023, so we may get an update on that. Those are like the most recent things.
Forbes says that they're expected to announce Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
That's part of the Zelda blowout thing. That
Yeah.
Their ports suck. I'm
People
sorry.
are thinking it's going to be like Mario Super All Stars 3D, where they put 3 games in one pack. So
And they'll release it for
Wind
3
Waker,
months.
Twilight, yeah, something like that.
If they do that and release it for 3 months and then just steal it away, I'm gonna be so pissed off. Yeah, more ports, yay. They'll probably talk about Splatoon a little bit, I would assume. And who knows what else? 40 minutes actually means for Nintendo. That's a lot. That's a big show. That's a big show for Nintendo. So we could have a couple surprises. I'm more excited.
Maybe Mario Rabbids,
maybe
because Ubisoft just showed that, so they may show that, some more of that. New Mario game, 3D Mario or something.
Alvin says Jeff Grubb is insisting that Metroid Prime Remastered will be there.
The thing about
more remasters,
their ports is like, I guess it's hard to do a port on a trash spec system.
Well, I mean, the system's better than the old one, so.
Barely.
Yeah, true. I mean,
it's like going from a Xbox One to a 1S almost. It's like what I feel like. Like, let's update everything now because we got this.
Put this much work.
Yeah, I don't know. I obviously technology has made so many advances since back then, right? So Victor Alstein says on the Iron Lords podcast, ACG alluded to some Sega rumors, which he didn't go into detail about. Any ideas? Okay, so some Sega rumors. Maybe Star Ocean could be part of that. Also, I think that's Sega, isn't it? Star Ocean, I think is Sega. Not 100%. I don't remember for sure, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Sega.
Yeah,
maybe
Sonic.
Do you think
Frontiers have been releasing their music on YouTube recently, so they may do something there. But
there's definitely gonna be a Sonic stuff. I'm wondering if Persona stuff will be at Sony Showcase, or do you think it just makes sense to put it in the Tokyo Game Show? If there is any Persona things.
Sega and Atlas is having a show on the 16th at Tokyo Game Show. Yeah.
Okay, so it'll probably be. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what Nintendo's going to show.
There's only one thing that will get me excited at a Nintendo show. One thing. This is
Switch 2.
Yes.
Smash Bros. 5.
New hardware. More powerful hardware. It doesn't have to be as powerful as next-gen consoles. When I say this, again, I'm not saying, oh, they need to make a Series X competitor, right? No. They just need to make something stronger than an old-ass phone, right? Like, that's all. That's it. Like, they just got to have, like, a Series S, right? Even Xbox One X, PS4 Pro level, right? That caliber, somewhere around there would be 10 times more powerful than what they got with hardware. And you could fit that into a small platform now. The question is, would they be willing to, because they're not going to make as much profit on it when they're making so much on their Switch right now.
They are,
right?
But if they're going to show
developers.
If they're going to show a new Switch, they would hype this show up more. They'd be like, get ready for the future of Nintendo this week. Come on down.
I agree.
to
That's
the
why it's
Super
not going to
Center."
happen, which is why I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by what they're going to have, but I honestly know that none of it means anything to me until we have new hardware. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, cool, what are you working on? That's great. I wish I would be able to enjoy that game because
for 80p.
Don't like the device that it's on, right? That's just a personal thing. I know a lot of people love the Switch, right? I'm not saying you're dumb for liking the Switch, right? If you like the Switch, cool. I'm glad you like it. A lot of people that love the Switch. It's best-selling hardware over the last several years, right? Obviously, for a reason. I just think it sucks ass.
I'll tell you what they'll do. They'll blue ball you though. What they'll do is they'll show a new Switch, but it's going to be it's going to be the new Pokemon custom edition. Be like, look at this new OLED 4K Switch or whatever. It's like it's a Pokemon one.
Yeah.
So they're going to blue ball you, but
I mean, I feel like with Nintendo, we talked about this on the show for sure, but like they are kind of screwing over developers by not updating their specs.
Yeah.
Like it comes to a point where you have to be like, yes, we have like the cheaper entry, or not even cheaper entry. They charge, isn't the Series S more? Or like the same price?
The Series S, the Series S routinely goes on sale for less than the Switch, and also the OLED is $350 and the Series S is $300.
Guys, people in the chat, please just think about that for a second. The Series S is about the same price as a Switch.
Yeah, but you can't play your Series S in a car.
It's like, that's why I'm saying this. This is why I've constantly made the argument that the Switch is popular primarily because it's a handheld, just like every Nintendo handheld device has been popular, right? You go from the Game Boy to the Game Boy Advance to the DS to the 3DS and now the Switch, right? Now you can turn it into an almost console, right? But it's not. I still don't classify it as a console just because you can dock it. The Steam Deck is more of a game console than the Switch is because it has more capabilities for users that a console has, right? The Switch is like taking a handheld and putting it in this thing. Ooh, blow it up on a big screen. Cool, right? You can do that with a mobile phone, right? You can get an HDMI thing and plug your phone up into a TV, and guess what?
You can make your game worse porting it.
Like NVIDIA,
an amazing game. You have to like take things out of the game just so it runs on the thing. And a lot of developers don't want to do that. Like, oh wow, I made this masterful cutscene. Oh, I have to make it look like clay now because
make it look like that. I remember we were watching the two shows over the past week, right? Fridays and Saturdays showcases, a D23 horrible gaming showcase that they had, and then also what a travesty of the Ubisoft Forward show that was as well, except for the Assassin's Creed part. But there was a lot of mobile stuff there, and I constantly was thinking, man, these games make the Switch look like ass, right? Because like these games are on mobile phones, and the Switch, I couldn't even imagine in their wildest dreams running something that looked that good, you know? And I'm thinking like, okay, if you had like an NVIDIA Shield or like you had like something where you can just share your screen with your TV, like from your phone or something, like those games look better than a Switch does, right? And you can get all the Android and Apple games and all that kind of stuff. The only thing that Nintendo has is the Nintendo games, right? They have all those really good gameplay and beautiful art style games built by masterful game developers on the platform. So when I criticize Nintendo, I'm not criticizing the games. I'm criticizing the crappy ass device that they're forcing all of these talented people to have to put their games on, right?
Yeah.
And that
Imagine if these masterful devs had better software.
Yes. 100%. I want Nintendo to be unleashed, right? I want those beautiful artistry and stuff to be able to be really, really shown. You know what I mean? I really want to be wowed. I don't want to have a blurry screen when I'm trying to read the text in Xenoblade Chronicles. You know what I mean? I don't have to go get out my bifocals. You know, like, what does that say? I can't make it out. You know, it's just, you know, and when I played the Steam Deck, I was like, whoa. Now, granted, that's more expensive than a Switch, right? But that is like, if you plug that in and you put like on the high settings and stuff, that thing is like nuts, right? Graphics wise, especially on a small screen, right? I just wish I want more from Nintendo, and therefore I'm excited to see what the cool games they're gonna have. But until there's a new device that is going to really have more power behind it and unleash the potential of those games, I just block it out of my mind.
I'm with you.
I kind of don't think we'll get like a Switch 2. I think the next Switch will be just like an evolution like this, what they did with the DS, where they went for like DS, DS XL, 3DS. I think like the next one's going to be like Switch 3D OLED XL. Like
Bigger screen.
Yeah. Yeah, I see like Calorie saying the FSR is going to help it and stuff. I hope so. If it does, I will go and get I'll go get a SWOLED, right? If the games look that much better, you know, then I will. But I've already seen people like playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and stuff, which I would have bought day one. Say like, wow, this is blurry as shit on my OLED, you know, and I just can't get behind it. I can't. I wish I could. I just can't. All right, guys. We're gonna have hopefully a new Switch in 3 years, so we'll move on from this topic. No, I agree with Calorie. Also in the chat said that we'll probably see one with Breath of the Wild 2. I agree, because that's the perfect game to sell your new system with. It worked great with the first Switch as well, right? Hey Kate, I did almost buy a Switch OLED this past Friday because I want to play Triangle Fantasy. Or Triangle Strategy. I want to play the Live Alive game, and I want to play Xenoblade Chronicles 3. But then I look and I'm like, wow, is OLED gonna make more of a difference than the Switch? And I see people on Twitter saying that the same thing. You know, I don't know.
Their fucking games have no anti-aliasing because they have no hardware to run it, so the games always look like ass no matter what screen you're on.
Right. So I just want to know if the OLED's gonna make a big enough difference for me. I'm like, if I did, I would buy it and I would play those games and I would sell it, just like I have every other Switch that I've owned, which I have owned, like, I think 5 Switches now.
Jeez.
To this point,
You're the reason they have 150 million sales.
no, because I sell them secondhand to a family with a kid every time, right? It's like
you buy a new one every time, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're not talking about Switches. Like, I love Nintendo's games. I think they're super well made. I'm not talking to the success of the company. They're literally number one.
I mean, they literally sell you cardboard with Nintendo Labo.
That's
amazing.
They sell you cardboard, and you're like, yeah. But it's just, to me, I like better visuals and all that, and then also developers. A lot of developers, I would think Nintendo's missing out on. Don't want to develop for the Switch because of how difficult it is. There's a lot of studios that just opt out of doing a Switch.
Easy. You just know you can't like go over a certain limit. You're just like, well, we just copy and paste the same game. Just fucking do it again. Like, it's easy.
Look
easy
at the
work,
FIFA
easy money.
ports for Switch. Wow, it looks like an N64 game. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and
we'll see. I have more expectations for this show than the PlayStation show.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, guys, I've sold. You know, I was in on the Switch at the beginning of the generation. Got excited. You know, we had more than one in the house. Wasn't playing them. Sold them. Animal Crossing pissed me off. Also. And then, you know, it was like, oh wow, I think 3-Bit's ass convinced us, I think, to get it again.
Yeah.
I blame you.
That was my fault.
And I got one for me. I got one for Kate. I think I even got a third for our daughter. We ended up all selling all 3 again because we didn't end up playing them at all.
I wanted to play with you guys like Mario Party and stuff, and we played like once, and then we never played again.
Yeah. But Biggie Butters says Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is game of the year, even more than Elden Ring. Right on, dude. See, that's why I want to play it, even if it looks like ass. I'm like, can I get past it? It's like, can I get past it? I don't know. I don't know if I can or not. Like, and I really want to, but every time it's been a problem. I just can't. I can't get past it. All right, guys, we got more to get to here. So hopefully they have some fun, exciting, beautiful games at the Nintendo Direct.
They're adding a new sport to the Nintendo Switch Sports Bet. That's the prediction. They're going to add a new sport to it.
To Nintendo Sports?
Yeah.
Do they have bowling?
I don't know. I just know that game came out this year, so they're like, we got to charge like $10 to add a new sport.
Yeah, it's gonna be Switch Frisbee. Throw that shit in the lake. No. Again, I'm glad you guys are enjoying your Switches in the chat. I just like to shit on them because I want new hardware. That's all.
Yeah, we have a long history with this topic. So.
But yeah, I agree with everybody in the chat too with their statements. I get what Nintendo's doing. I get it. Making money. Yeah. Tokyo Game Show's coming up too. I guess also we're expecting Xbox to make a push. We talked about that a little bit. I think that we're going to see potentially some more Japanese focused or Eastern focused games there, and maybe some more partnership type deals. Maybe hopefully some more Game Pass announcements for games that will really help them in that region. There's actually been rumblings that Phil Spencer could make an appearance at with some kind of announcement or video or something.
Yeah, probably do a video call in or something.
Yeah, like reiterating, we're committed to you in Japan. We love you, and we committed to. But remember, if you go back to Bloomberg or whoever had the last interview with him, and he talked about they're making strides in other parts of the world, and that's really where their focus is.
They should launch Family and Friends Game Pass first there.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, look, we're all in on you. We're putting you ahead of the West to be like, see, we care about you.
Yeah. Okay.
That's actually that's a big move. Really good. Yeah, that's a big move. We talked about strides in other places. That's a way to do it for sure. Like, guess what? You guys get it first. Family plan.
Think so?
That's a good strategy.
But I want to hear.
I don't know.
I want to save money now. Let's go.
That's too bad.
It's also a smaller audience, so they can still debate it. It's
they already do exactly. They may be spreading it slowly to different parts of the world, right? Instead of all at once. Yeah, that's a good thought, Jasper. It makes sense too with how device and focused that region is too, with playing on mobile and smaller devices and stuff. Fuzzy, you got any expectations for TGS?
Price cut. No, I'm just kidding. I would love to see them secure the marketing for was it Wukong, the one game from China. I don't know if that's going to make an appearance at TGS, but
yeah, I don't know if you'd want to focus on a Chinese developed game at TGS because I don't know, like the whole thing between I don't know a lot about it, but
they don't have the best history, but I'm wondering if some of those development teams are going to be there. But another thing that they could focus on are all the other partnerships that both Phil and Sarah Bond have been talking about over these past 8 or 9 months or so that they've had, and hopefully one of those partnerships leads to like a surprise announcement game coming, either day and date to Game Pass or at least coming to the Xbox platform. I know we got was it Gungrave or whatnot coming to Game Pass later this year. Maybe they show a little bit more of the gameplay and things like that on stage. But I'm just figuring, some games that we weren't even expecting, something that may have been under the radar, and hey, coming to Game Pass day one. And it'll probably be before the end of the year. At least I would say 1 or 2 titles.
I know that I think it's 101 Games. They're a Chinese studio. They're making the game Wanted Dead or whatever that comes out early next year. So there is Chinese studios there, but I don't know.
Gungrave Gore, I think you've mentioned that, right, Fuzz? That would be one I could expect there. Wolong, I would expect to potentially see Wolong Fallen Dynasty there again, right? We've seen that a few times. Pass, right? Yeah, it's coming to Game Pass early 2023, supposedly. So if you're trying to focus it, have attracted audience, it'd be a good game to show, right? And then maybe more Naraka content.
Yeah.
Right? They could remember they've really made a good that game's doing pretty well, I think. Still, it's not like doing gangbusters or anything like that, but they gave it a home on Xbox, and I think that that could have potential new content, maybe some more campaign type stuff going for that. Who knows?
this is an important show for Xbox if you really think about it, especially with PlayStation just announcing their price increase pretty much everywhere except the United States. I think that pissed off a lot of Japanese gamers,
Yeah.
and I think they're gonna look at this show and and just be like, okay, let's see what Xbox is doing. You know, I do think because of the whole price increase, this is a good time to start highlighting Game Pass, the impact of Game Pass, and making some deals with some people overseas for sure. So they're making strides with like Sega. It's cool that Atlas games are finally coming to Xbox after how long? Um, so I would even re-highlight that, announce that again. um, and we'll see what else they have. I'm not sure what third-party deals they would be making with which companies, but Wolong is definitely a good one. Fuzzy, I think that one would probably be there, especially it being in Game Pass.
Yeah.
Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Tango GameWorks has something to show outside of Ghostwire Tokyo, which we know will probably be about like a year away. I know, from my understanding, aren't they working on like 2 other projects, like possibly a Evil Within 3 or something along those lines?
John Johansson, who is the creative director of Evil Within 2, is supposed to be making a brand new game, right? But I don't know if it's Evil Within 3 or something brand new. But that was they actually said that they are working on a new game, and he's a creative director on that. Plus, also whatever else they're working on. So
when did he say that?
That was like a year ago, I think.
Honestly, I'm not expecting like new announcements. I'm expecting like maybe updates. Like they showed Persona 5 at E3 coming to Game Pass. So now maybe they show like Persona 4 gameplay. Say, hey, it's coming to Game Pass in January 23 now or something. They give like a release date for the other Personas. Give updates like that. Not necessarily. I don't think we're getting new games because we never really do.
Yeah.
The last year, the big thing was like Scarlet Nexus was coming to Game Pass. So I'm expecting kind of smaller deals and announcements like that, not necessarily like new game.
Yeah.
That's
Elden
Could
Ring
be.
to Game Pass.
Ed Enzo says maybe an Exo Primal to Game Pass. That'd be cool. Exo Primal is getting some hype around it right now. So, but
I think it's basically just going to be an educational stream. And I know that sounds boring, but
educational. We're gonna learn the alphabet, like
no, like educating Japanese gamers to Game Pass games coming up, and like certain things,
right, like reiterating stuff. Recap.
Yeah, recap.
That's generally what Tokyo Game Show's been a lot of in the past. So, but we're hoping for more. I don't know. I kind of agree with you. That's what we should expect. But like Jasper said, we got Scarlet Nexus Game Pass announcement, I think, right?
Last year,
So even if it's a game that's already out and existing, we could get an announcement for something like that come into Game Pass or something. Who knows exactly?
Like maybe Soul Hackers, since that just came out, they'd be like, "Hey, Soul Hackers is coming to Game Pass."
Resident Evil 4 remake. Yeah, that would be crazy. That would be like big. That ain't gonna happen.
I wonder if that would be. That's probably gonna be at the Sony showcase.
Yeah, probably. Those Capcom and Sony marketing deals, gotta love them. Yay. But guys, we also got another topic here before we get to tidbits. This is I told you we got a lot to get to. One of our favorite conversations here is Ubisoft. We love talking about Ubisoft. They had Ubisoft Forward on Saturday, and we got a lot of stuff, and then we got the Assassin's Creed news. So cool Assassin's Creed news. We got Mirage, re-envisioning of Assassin's Creed again, kind of bringing it back to its roots a little bit. Smaller experience, $50 entry point. You got to applaud them for that. Pricing it accordingly. Yay. And then Assassin's Creed Red was announced. You got Assassin's Creed Hexe was announced, and you got all these Assassin's Creed things that was awesome.
They announced it 70 though, right?
What?
Oh, we're gonna get to that. Mirage is 50, right? But the others, Red especially, we can expect to be 70 because Today they said, which I don't know why this was news, because we've been literally talking about this for a while now. But I guess they made the official statement that, yeah, all of our big AAA things are coming out are going to be $70, starting with Skull and Bones. And it all of a sudden made huge waves on the internet today and on Twitter and social media and articles and stuff. Everybody in journalism was writing about this today.
Not a good first title. To do
yeah, I got a question though. Like, who in their right mind thought Skull and Bones was a one-off for $70 for Ubisoft? Like, when they announced that was going to be $70, we've had literally like that topic in like 3 or 4 of our shows, like criticizing how the fuck Ubisoft is on the $70 train now. Ubisoft is going to be doing all their games at $70. That sucks. And Skull and Bones is dead on arrival now because of this, and nobody was talking about it at all. And then Eve says, yeah, all of our titles are going $70. Like, oh, an Epiphany. Oh, wait, it's actually happening? Well, yes, they already did it with Skull and Bones, everybody. Like, what did you not see? I don't understand. You think they were just going to price their one game at $70 and never do it again? Like, I mean, I don't understand.
Honestly, I think it's because no one has interest in this game, so no one cared about talking about it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I thought it was like a $40 game. This looks like a $40 game to me.
It looks like a free-to-play game.
Yeah, it's a new model. It's a $70 free-to-play game. They're experimenting with this.
Yeah, it's free-to-play after you spend your $70.
Yeah. You spend $70 and you get free-to-play and you can buy cannons and stuff. But we don't know. I don't know how much of the content in it is going to be purchasable, but it looks like that's probably what they're going for with this title, which I think $70 is going to kill it. I think it may have a chance at a second life, a few months after it, when it's cheap as hell. I don't know how Riders Republic is doing right now. I don't see many people talking about it, but it's pretty cheap. I think, and it goes on sale at times.
This could be their other For Honor. Like, For Honor's pretty decent for them, but that's been going on 6 years. But,
yeah. When it first came out,
it
definitely didn't hit. But
yeah,
well, they've had that with a lot of their games. I mean, Rainbow Six was one of those. It kind of flopped out the gate, and then they fixed a lot of stuff, and all of a sudden it was like their megaton hit. So
yeah, it's just, why is this all of a sudden news now, though? You know what I mean? Like today. I don't understand.
Pay attention to Assassin's Creed more. Like, I think Jasper is right. The people pay attention to Assassin's Creed and stuff, and that's what they're looking forward to. And now it's like, wait, that's going to be 70 now? But the whole Skull and Bones, that was like, I guess people just were like, oh, you took too long making it. I'm over that stuff. I'm not worried about pirate ship battles anymore. I'm grown up now. I don't know. It just seems like
I'm in a race car bed now. I don't care about.
I just don't get it. It's weird. Like when the whole announcement happened of Skull and Bones' pricing, when we had that Skull and Bones stream that they had, and then they didn't mention the price, and then we looked at it after, and it was $70, on console, and then $60 on PC. We literally that was on all 3 of our shows that week, and then also a couple more shows has been brought back up several times. And then just now today, the public actually finds out that Ubisoft is on the $70 train.
Maybe because it's closer, at least, so people are finally starting to look at it, and they're like, oh, because before,
or maybe they sneakily announce it it's gonna be $70. All right, back to you.
Yeah,
well, they've had it announced for a while, so it's just
it's been
I
a
just
month.
don't think people care about the game, and now since it's getting closer to launch, people are starting to maybe put an eye towards it and then be like, oh, that's. I
think it's an expectation with them because there may be a conversation with the pricing of Mirage and how it was 50, and then that kind of came up, and all people are like, I'm gonna have to pay 70 in the future for Assassin's Creed games now. Those ones I'm excited about. That sucks, I just couldn't imagine anybody thought that Skull and Bones was a $70 one-off. Nobody's ever done that before.
For the people who are in chat, are you at $70 games? I will never agree with you. I'm sorry. I don't care. Past games, use $90 when you're paying for these cartridges that are freaking expensive.
It's a reality. It sucks, right?
Assassin's
I don't
Creed
want to cap for it.
Why is that not 60? Why is that not 70? It's 50. They actually made intelligent decision that there's not enough content in that game. It's $50, but
Yeah.
Skull and Bones for some reason is $70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never agree with $70 games. Like
You can make a big argument that games actually should be cheaper today than they were like back in those days.
You can make that argument that because there's so much more microtransactions in games, like where before it was a standard thing, like, oh, we'll only do microtransaction if it's free to play, because that's like the caveat. But now it's like in every game.
I will say though, to that argument though, that I'm not sure, like, does server upkeep outweigh the price of printing discs and cases and all that shit? Is like, does that equal out, or is server upkeep more expensive to like host the games digitally? Like, I don't know.
Once you have the actual servers, the upkeep is a lot cheaper than the printing and the distribution and the storage and all that. It's the initial expense of getting the server. So if they've already had it for their online stuff or for asset and
But
data storage,
you still got to pay for people that interact with that server and like download it. Like, that costs money. Like,
yeah.
So I'm just...
But it's almost like the electric bill versus charging your Tesla or something like that. So it's definitely, it has its cost, but it's a much lower on the overall scale when you look at it over like a 10-year span versus like 10 years of printing almost the equal amount of discs and whatnot, and distribution and storage and warehousing, shipping, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I would just always be the champion, and like, I don't want games to be more expensive for like I know a lot of people are like, well, it's because of the economy, it's because of this, it's because of that. Like, rather than be like, I want games to be cheaper. The reality of things, like, yes, there are different publishers right now that are pushing $70 games. It kind of started with Sony, and then it spiraled to Activision.
It started with the Activision and 2K, and then Sony, and then like, once a platform holder like went behind it, then that's like when it was like over with, right? They like all, and there was rumors of like Sony actually trying to have conversations with like 2K, being like, we should go 90, and they're like, hold on, Sony, calm down. Right? Yeah. Like, we're going 70, but 90? You're crazy, man. You're crazy. We're not there yet. We'll get there one day,
PS7.
Like as a consumer, I don't want these, like, these games aren't getting better in quality. You guys seen Skull and Bones? Like, my phone just randomly. These games are like all of a sudden jumping in quality because they're $70. I think a lot of people are like, wow, $70, it's a premium price. I want to get, sure, let me do 80, let me do 90. These games aren't like drastically changing in quality. It's literally just because they want more of your money. So for me, I'm always going to champion for cheaper games. Being 60 or like Skull and Bones does not even look like a $60 game to me. It looks like a 40, or Fuzzy was saying, free to play. And I think that the more people don't speak out about that, the more developers are going to make it the norm. Like, Xbox isn't charging $70 for their first party title.
There was such a lack of that game at their big show when it's their big release this year. Like, all we saw was a bunch of cannons swapping.
We saw that woman on the green screen standing on a ship. Talk for 15 minutes.
That's right. We did see that. I heavily critical of their showcase. Trackmania, look like the new Trackmania. I'm excited about that. The rest of the showcase was pretty like just. It was like this. It's like, hi, let me talk to you for 5 minutes about this game, and then we're gonna talk more after this video that lasts for 10 seconds about this game. And I hope you all enjoy this video coming at you right now. And it's like it's just fucking hell. Like, somebody stand still for a second and just like get to the damn game. I don't care about your rotating camera tricks. Let's talk about the damn games and just show the games. Like, please, like, so where are the damn games? Like it's just such an overproduced bullshit thing when they forgot to bring the one thing that mattered was actual game footage of games that they had a show for about games. I don't
games
understand.
are in early betas. I mean, you got to sign up to play them.
Yeah.
Unless they're mobile, then you can play them today.
Yeah.
Or at least that's how it seemed. I don't know. I would have loved to have seen more of Heartland. That was probably the biggest thing I was looking forward to, and all we saw was some of the scenery, not much gameplay,
and no clue when it's coming out. In fact, they showed a bunch of insiders that are playing the game, and we're gonna get their feedback and make sure we get a good game someday for you guys. That's what this is all about. And we got in the pre-show, like, Pierre, I'm sure you're a cool dude, but fuck off. I don't need to see 10 minutes of Pierre in a pre-show.
He's in charge of 343 now, right?
Like, come on, dude. Like, I get it. Like, I just don't understand some of these companies, man. It was almost like as bad as the Randy Pitchford Gearbox showcase when he just walked around the movie set. Y'all remember that? Like 2 years ago, like Randy Pitchford is like, "Hey, I met Kevin Hart. Everybody, I'm having this game show just to tell you that I'm mingling with actors on a TV set and a movie set. It's amazing." All right,
like
what
Kevin
else
Hart
we
was
got?
about to call
Nothing.
security. Like,
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Randy, you got powder on your nose. Yeah, I don't know. The Ubisoft show, I think they just need to focus a little bit differently on how they do that. However, the Trackmania, I'm excited about that again, and I'm excited about the Assassin's Creed announcements. I'm happy where that franchise is going, where they're going to be doing both, right? You got your Mirage stuff, you got your the Red thing, the codename Red, and then the Hexy one, which they say is different from all of them, right? So who knows exactly what's going to be going on. However, all right. Guys, we're 2 hours and 8 minutes into the show, and we still have a lot of awesome people here. And again, if you guys like the show, hit the like button, share, and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all of you for hanging out for so long. You guys all rock. But we have a segment here. It's called Tidbits. And we like to look at a week ahead of gaming. Thanks to Fuzzy and Jasper every week for helping with the links and everything. 3-Bit's too busy to help at all, so he just shows up.
Here, hi guys.
No, I'm just kidding. But we got some awesome games coming your way here on Tidbits. Releases this week, starting with let's see if I can find my tab.
It's in the FSP chat.
Yeah, I got it. Here we go. Little Orpheus Steam. Little Orpheus. So is that the name of the game?
Yeah.
Okay. Little Orpheus.
Hey, where's the fancy intro?
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. You're right. Hold on, guys. Tidbits.
Much better.
Welcome to Tidbits, the segment here on FSP where we look ahead at the week of gaming and what's releasing on your favorite platforms. All right. Tidbits this week. We got some awesome games, starting with Little Orpheus. This is a PS4, PS5, Xbox One X and S and Switch and PC. It coming to everything. And it is releasing tonight or tomorrow on the 13th.
From the beginning, then. But this had better be good.
Good, General. It's more than good. It's extraordinary. And it began like this.
Very informative.
It's a platformer, and you're in the dino world.
Platformer. It looks like Sumo Digital. Created by the Chinese Room. Okay. All right. Well, that's Little Orpheus. Next up, guys. Anybody excited about that game at all?
No, it's more of a mobile game being transplanted to consoles and PC and Switch.
Right. Cool.
Okay.
All right, this next one is Scourge Bringer. It's coming out to mobile platforms, and it's releasing on the 13th. I'm looking ahead at the list this week, and it kind of sucks ass, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's a couple okay ones in here. There's one I'm excited about. This looks pretty cool, though.
This one, it's just coming to mobile at this point. It's already been on all the other services. It's in Game Pass right now.
Right. It looks like Metroid almost.
Yeah.
I like the soundtrack.
Yeah, this looks good. You know, sometimes on Tidbits, we see something that we didn't know was already out on the platforms, right?
Oh, this is already out?
This is already out on Xbox and PlayStation, yeah. You said it's in Game Pass?
Games with Gold. Yeah, it's in Game Pass, and it's a Games with Gold, so you can pick it up for free, I think, right now.
Right on.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Sweet. And it's hitting mobile devices. That could be a good mobile device game. This one is coming up, and this is 13.
This one's also already been out.
Is this a remake or remaster?
It's just coming to the Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, just coming to Switch now.
I think it came out on Xbox One like in 2019 or some shit.
Yeah.
But they're remaking the remaster. It's a Last of Us situation.
Right.
Because this was originally on the OG Xbox, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
this was on the Wii, wasn't it?
Xbox, GameCube, PC, and Mac back in 2000 or so, 2003 or something. But it got a remaster recently, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people hated the remaster, so they redid it.
Right.
I think the complaint on this when it was on consoles 2 years ago was the mechanics or some of the movement or something was kind of odd or
right.
So I think
It was just
maybe
like a
on Switch
lazy.
it'll play a little bit better, hopefully.
Pretty much just the next gen version.
Yeah.
Oh, but this is Switch, so never mind.
I thought that had released on the Wii originally. Maybe I was wrong.
GameCube.
Maybe that was the first remake.
GameCube? Okay. Maybe the first. That's the Last of Us situation. You suck at parking.
This is coming to Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And only on Xbox and PC releasing on the 14th?
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to play
Actually,
this.
really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw, I think Indie Gamer playing this on like a Steam demo or something.
Mm-hmm.
One of those early access things.
Yeah.
Looks like one of those games I'll just be addicted to.
Yeah, 8 players online. It's $20 otherwise. Yeah, that could be a lot of fun.
It's like musical chairs, like try to be the last one in the parking spot or something.
You suck at parking.
I guess so. Oh,
You
God,
suck
tomorrow.
at parking. All right. Bear and Breakfast is next up on the list, guys. This is yeah.
A game.
It's kind of, it's not really like
Switch
Animal
game.
Crossing, but it's kind of along those lines. I think the bad part is the animation for the commercial looks better than what you see in the game.
Okay.
Oh, so it's like a.
It's a survival game, it looks like, or something.
Kind of.
Okay. Interesting.
That was such a bad trailer.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the game itself was
Could be
probably,
good.
like, okay.
I
but
like the
think-
gameplay stuff they showed more because it looked like pretty deep, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, They should have like dove a little bit more into the like the
Yeah.
features in the game. So that was just a bad trailer.
Oh, this one you have to mute.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. I want to be able to play this, guys, but I can't. This one I am excited about. Metal Hellsinger, coming on the 15th to Xbox Game Pass.
Is it in Game Pass?
Yep, it's in Game Pass.
Oh no, wait.
Yeah, they just announced it was coming to Game Pass. I thought.
Did
Nice.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this is going Game Pass.
they? Okay.
This game looks awesome. I
Yeah.
want to try it.
Metal Hellsinger. And I wish this
These are
guy
my
is
two favorite things.
talking a lot. Let me get to the game. The gameplay's coming. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'll just do some hard rock music.
They ruined this game with
So basically, it's a rhythm game, right? So like you can like shoot to the beat of your heart, and it'll I guess you get better if you hit the rhythm. And it's like
if you shoot on
It's so much better if I could turn off that.
maybe you can.
It's a beat, but that's the point of the game.
I know. I just want a first-person shooter. I don't want to fucking have to time it to.
You just
fucking
hate the
music.
game
Yeah.
itself.
Or if we could replace it with 90s pop music, that would be sick. I didn't say that. I'm
If I
kidding.
could replace.
You put it Backstreet Boys.
I
I
could replace it with
want.
Backstreet
Oh, hey,
Boys.
what's up, Trinity? Sorry, I didn't mean to pop you up there. All right. We got Outer Wilds coming up here.
This one is the next gen upgrade, I believe.
You got.
Although there's
yeah.
no trailers for the next gen upgrade. So
Yeah, Outer Wilds next gen upgrade, next gen update for free. This is $25 and it's in Game Pass.
I heard this game was amazing.
Oh.
I've never played it.
And I'm interested in this next. Oh, I'm interested in this next one because I thought this game was already out, unless it was only in preview.
it
was
was
beta.
in preview. It was,
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is
Finally,
their
it's
like
Yes.
1.0 release.
Splitgate, grounded situation, leaving preview, going into full release, I guess.
They also just stopped working this game also. So
Yeah. They decided
Yeah,
in
I
order
stopped
to
playing
make
this
like
game.
to make a Splitgate 2 or something like that. I forget
just
why
make
they
another
said.
game in the Splitgate universe. I think they said. or something.
Right. So they're releasing it and then abandoning it.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound
Like-
awesome.
As soon as I mean, I played this game because I was waiting for Infinite to come out, and when Infinite came out, I like stopped playing it. But it was actually really fun playing with you guys.
Yeah. All right, so that was Splitgate.
Beta season 2.
Season.
Yeah, we streamed that quite a bit actually for a little while. Wayward Strand is
Carry on my wayward strand.
PS4 or 5.
There will be peace when
This is
you
on
are
everything.
dead.
Ooh, I really like this style action.
Casey Morris. My, you must have grown a mile a minute since I last saw you. Come in. Please make yourself at home.
Sitting with Grandma Simulator.
again, like
Heartfelt
bad
interactive
trailer,
story told to you in a curious way.
but
I bet Grandma's gonna die. What do y'all think? What's the over under?
100%.
Yeah.
She's halfway there already. She was knitting her own
yeah.
blanket.
How many
Just
minutes
as she
after the?
finishes knitting, it's like
You think so? I'm leaving this my final blanket
I'm
that
just
I
gonna
knitted
take a
to
nap,
you.
granddaughter. I'll be with you in a minute.
God.
Grandma. I'm sorry, that went dark. I like the art style though. I don't know what
Yeah.
the gameplay is like at all, but that art style, beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. Next up is Return to Monkey Island.
Pre-order and get your horse armor.
$25 Switch and PC.
Just takes
Like
up space in your
or stale grog.
inventory.
I've been in enough scraps to fill a dozen scrapbooks. I've got stories about ships, fights, love, treasure, betrayal, and root beer. But how about one that has all of the above? My name is Guybrush Threepwood, and this is a story about the time I finally found the secret of Monkey Island.
I have to admit, I've never played Monkey Island.
Guybrush Threepwood.
New adventure begins.
Who's making that game? Lucas Arts?
Yeah.
LucasArts made the first one. I think they just have LucasArts on the name because they own the rights to the game. I don't think they're making it though.
Next up is World
Sun
War
Tzu.
World War One at Sanzo. Is that how you say it?
Like Sanzo, I guess.
September 13th. Everything but Switch. Cause yeah, right. Like it could be on the Switch.
I think that studio that made this is being acquired by Focus Entertainment now. I think.
Awesome.
I never heard of that game. Wow.
It's they made a Verdun and Tannenberg is another World War I shooter, so it's just another entry into that pretty much.
Yeah.
I wish that game was coming out this week, but it's not. All right, SBK 22 Super Bike.
My career started in Superbike paddock, and here it's my home.
Having 3 races at the weekend, you have to manage yourself
Is that
physically,
real?
mentality,
Or is that the
also-
game?
That's real. That's real 3-bit.
Oh, I was like, dang, that's graphics.
Because you never understand if you're going to
Dang.
lose in the front
This
of
is
the
ray
race or
tracing
come
3-bit.
from
The
rear.
first time we're
Watch
actually
out,
seeing it in
boys.
game.
And full of adrenaline.
Yeah, if the graphics look like that
After
in
10
game,
years,
oh my
this is
God.
There's your end
chance.
game.
I will be waiting
Yeah.
for
Like,
you
okay,
for the
guys,
official
doing
Superbike
something.
video game.
SBK 22.
Why did they show the game?
Because they want you to think that the game looks like the real thing.
It comes out in like 2 days.
Yep. It comes out this week. But like all the games on Tidbits, coming out on the 15th. And I just had to get that Xbox chime in there. Because I'm such a Xbot, I guess. Wow, guys. What a week of releases.
I'll be honest, I looked for good trailers on the game. There wasn't any.
On which one? The SBK?
The SBK. Yeah.
Is there any actual gameplay showing a bike?
There's a gameplay trailer, but the gameplay is just them driving around the track for one lap, and I'm like, oh,
right.
Like you can show multiple tracks or multiple
Yeah.
bikes, so it's like
No cuts
Oh, okay.
between different things or anything like that. Yeah, I
I
mean,
was like, dang.
this
For a
week
second there, I was like, wow.
we knew September was a little light, right, compared to October. October's pretty loaded, especially late October, right? So this month is definitely not going to have as much. However, there's some little highlights in there. There's Metal Hellsinger coming out this week in Game Pass, and some other cool stuff too, for something for everybody there. Lots of variety, I would say. Any game specifically you guys are looking forward to out of that?
I think Metal Hellsinger is about the main one that I want to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doom with heavy metal music kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll give that a try.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep farming in Disney. My pumpkins.
Getting your pumpkins. Yeah. A week of Disney Dreamlight Valley ahead for Jasper.
I think Monkey Island for me, and also the Metal Hellsinger game. Those are the most interesting ones for me. Actually, the parking game, that looks fun too. I'll try that.
Yeah.
I would be interested in 13 if it wasn't coming out only on the Switch.
It's already out on Xbox.
Is it on an Xbox? Okay,
Yeah.
I might give it a go then. But this is not. Was this the bad remake or the good one that's on Xbox?
Some people said the mechanics was the,
Okay, but this is getting updated better, right, on the Switch?
It's just getting ported to the Switch. I don't think this update. I think it's just a port to the Switch.
I think they're doing more. Are they not?
Yeah, because they remastered the game. That's why I have to look up which version this is, because they remade 13, and then people were like, "This is terrible. This is absolutely trash." So they're like, "Okay, we heard your feedback. We're gonna completely redo the game, and if you have that one, we're gonna update that version." And then they have the new version where they made all the changes to the game. It's like a pretty big update, I guess, to the gameplay, the graphics, and I think from that version, Switch is getting something. So I don't know.
So
if it's
is it
already out.
good now, or is it still bad?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know if that came out or not yet, but if it did, then yeah. I mean, I'm
wait for a sale.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'm pretty sure this is the good version.
Speaking of that, there is some good sales in some of the stores right now. Assassin's Creed has like a lot of sales, and there's some other stuff. Humble Bundle had an insane thing this month with the 2K like collection.
But I was like, I probably won't play half those games, so I just like whatever.
It has an XCOM. It has Borderlands 3 like deluxe edition or whatever. It has like a BioShock collection. I mean, it has like a bunch of great games and stuff on there, and it's like only $16 on Steam for Humble Bundle. So check that out, guys. But hey, everyone, thanks chat for joining into the show and the conversation. As always, you guys rock. I'm sorry for trashing on Switch so much again for the Switch lovers out there. I know you hate it when I do that. I'm sorry. But maybe I'll be getting one soon just to try again. We'll see. I don't know. Sub Drunken Donut, Biggie Butters, everybody else I didn't get to say hello to. The Sousa, Micah, what's up, dude? Showing off his Speculator's badge a little while ago. Shout out to you, dude. I appreciate each and every one of you for being a part of what we do here, and especially the panel here as well. You guys rock. Thanks for always being generous with your time. Fuzzy, always Fuzzy one. Speaking of time, where can everybody catch you?
Oh man, it was awesome being here with you guys. Thanks for everyone that came out in the chat to watch us live, and anyone that catches the replay later on. For those that just want to hear me, ramble on about gaming, just follow me on Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere, and then look forward to Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time on this channel for Xbox Ultimate with the family. Thanks again.
Right on, man.
You get the season pass with this Borderlands thing too.
You get everything, I think.
$16 and you get that's worth it for Borderlands alone with the season pass.
Yeah.
And plus you get all 3 BioShocks, you get the XCOMs, and I mean you get like everything in this shit, dude. It's crazy. 3-bit. Besides making the games that we love, where else can everybody catch up with you?
Everyone can follow me on Twitter at i3bit. I'm on this show and Friday when I can. Appreciate everybody in the chat. If we all had the same opinion, it'd be a boring world. So love all your opinions, and I will see you guys on the next show. This was really fun. I enjoyed this show.
Heck yeah, bro. Enjoyed you. I enjoy you, 3-bit.
Thank you. We should do a guitar a duet again.
Right on. Jasper, the realist, wants all of 343 fired. It's okay. I understand. Where can everybody find you, bro?
You can check me out at Lord Jasper. Is 3-bit frozen, or is he just like really still?
I think he's frozen.
Okay.
With a great smile on his face. Look at that smile.
He's just doing a headshot right now. It's like...
That is. Can we freeze that? Somebody get snap that. I'm gonna take a screenshot for 3-bit.
Anyway, Lord Jasper on Twitter, Lord Master Jasper on YouTube. Check me out there. I post videos every now and then and live stream every now and then. Check that out. You can also check me out in the Dreamlight Valley because I'm going to be farming my pumpkins again. That's where I'll be. So hit me up there. And FSP's Monday nights and Xbox Ultimate Friday nights.
Yeah, right
check
on.
That out.
Appreciate you as always. Huh?
3-bit said he broke his computer.
Oh no! How do you break a computer, 3-bit? Oh shit! He's got that 3090 in there too, guys. All right, guys. Well, you can catch us also on PM in the PM. I'll be live this week. We have a fun guest on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So look out for that show. Also, Friday night is Xbox Ultimate Podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we're gonna have a blast. As always, things may go left. Things may.
A lot to talk about this week.
A lot to talk about this week. We'll have even more to talk about potentially by then. And then also on Thursday, I'm if I can convince my wife to let me wake up that early to cover Tokyo Game Show, you may see us co-streaming that. I don't know for sure yet. We'll see. I'll make that decision probably Wednesday night. Yeah, and we'll go from there. But stay tuned to have a look out for that. Vik The CLiCK did hit us with a super chat with $5. Says amazing episode, and I just got that bundle. Can't wait to get home and play them on the Steam Deck. Right on, dude. I appreciate you as always, Vic. You rock, man. And I hope you all have a good one, chat. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Bye bye.